Ooh, man. Lord have mercy. We are live. It has been a little hectic. It's been a little hectic, but I'll tell you about that here in just a second. It looks like we've got a lively chat going already, which is fantastic. I was sorry for being 4 minutes late, but I am trying to buy this Lincoln Continental, and the guy texted me while I was on the phone or while I was on the live stream on TikTok. It's like, call me. And we're trying, if we were going to make the deal happen, we were going to have to, I was going to YOLO it, rent a car, drive to Michigan tomorrow and Friday, buy the car, then drive it, spend a little time in Michigan visiting some folks, and then drive it back. But we got a little hiccup. And so I'm trying to get confirmation. We agreed to a price this morning. He's like, here's the price. I was like, okay, here's some logistics. Can I pick it up Saturday? Make sure there are no blockers. And then he disappeared all afternoon. And he finally just texted me, and I've got to make plans. So I was like, I need to make this call real quick before we jump on this live stream. Really nice older gentleman. Has had the car for 25 years. Doesn't really want to sell it, but he thinks it's time because he doesn't use it a whole bunch. And the problem being is he's got two other folks he's kind of promised that they could have first dibs at it, but they're supposed to let him know by tomorrow. And so if they don't confirm by tomorrow that they're going to buy the car, then it's mine. But if I don't find out till tomorrow evening, I don't know if I can make it up there this weekend. So all good. Long story short, trying to buy it. I've agreed to buy it. We're okay on the price. He's good with the price. But apparently, even though I've been talking to him for 2 weeks and I was up there in Michigan trying to look at the dang thing a week or so ago, I'm still third in line. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's catch up with the chat. What's going on? Keep the videos coming. Yes, we are. Appreciate it, Jordan Rodriguez. We are having a lot of fun with the videos. We got a lot of traction right now with them. So we are going to continue pumping those guys out in mass. We had a little impromptu live stream yesterday where we filmed 4 or 5 videos, and I had a problem with the B-roll or the close-up camera for the bar top, and so I ended up having to refilm them all today. What cars I have right now, probably too many. My daily driver's a 2019 Toyota Tundra Crew Cab, and then my wife drives a Toyota Highlander. I've got a 2014 Dodge Charger SRT8 Super B in header orange, so it's like a bright orange Charger Super B. My granddad retired from the cotton mill, Avondale Mill in Alexander City, and he started a welding shop. He was a welder in the military in World War II, so he started a welding shop, and he bought a 72 Ford F-100 long wheelbase, brand new in 1972, and that was his welding shop truck. It's got a little damage. A hurricane came through, a tree fell on it. It's a little damaged, but it runs and drives just fine. So I've got that truck that'll be a restoration project I'll get to here pretty soon. And then I just bought, my oldest daughter, 14, wants a Volkswagen Beetle for her first car. So I just bought a 67 Volkswagen Beetle that we'll be restoring starting probably this fall sometime. Maybe winter we'll start on that. And then I've got a 63 Chevy Impala. That's a bit of a hot rod. It's the never-ending project, right? Never seems to be finished. In Ohio with truck and trailer would only charge me a little for storage. Hey, we might work this out. Really nice gentleman that I was talking to. Like he been scoping my profile. Like he wants to make sure, like literally one of those guys that loves the car so much that he is like investigating the people to make sure he sells it to the right person. Like he doesn't need the money. He wants to make sure the car ends up with somebody that's going to take care of it and love the car, which I can appreciate. Like that's my kind of crazy shit. Mr. Salty, what's going on? I should be able to find some good bourbon. When I went up a couple of weeks ago, I didn't have any time to look for it. So tried Jack Daniel's single barrel proof for the first time yesterday. Jacob, what did you think about that? What did you think about it? I can actually pull up comments and show which ones I have not had a lot of time to do a lot of production on these live streams, but we should be putting more effort into these things here pretty soon. See if I can get my Trying to get it to where I can pull the comments up and show them. I'm getting audio from something. I think I must have the stream up somewhere over here. Yep. Stream is up over here. That's not a good idea. I'm a terrible streamer. Apparently, I'm new. I am new. All right, so, and I appreciate all y'all coming and hanging out with me. What year Continental right there? So y'all should, oh, what did I do? Oh, Lord. Lord. This is a fancy streaming rig I use for work, and y'all just saw some of the graphics from work for a stream we did. That was weird. Everybody's like, what was that? What was that? I was just trying to show what year Continental, and y'all get, oh, Lord. Well, that's not going to work. I can't show, something's wrong with this particular stream. Every time I go to show, just forget it. Every time I try to go to show one, it shows that instead. So apparently there's a setting wrong over there. We'll just do it old school. I apologize for the technical difficulties. But Kevin, it is a 1970 Lincoln Continental coupe. So it is the big one, like the big town car coupe. And I apologize for the weird graphics that I just rolled at y'all. Liquid peanuts, but it's hot. Yes, it is hot. Drop a couple of drops of water in it. It'll be fantastic. Cheech in the chat, man. Appreciate you hanging out and being a mod for me. Sold a 50 Ford truck to Alabama a few years ago. Black Ford, a 50 Ford truck, I assume. Awesome. Just dig Evan Williams bottle and bond nowadays. Hey, that's a fantastic bottle. For that price, that's great bourbon. There's no shame in Evan Williams bottle and bond. Dig the logo, yeah. And of course that song was one our partner did that was playing there. But the e-commerceaholic stuff is my work stuff. First off, being an Opelika, do you pull? I'm an Auburn grad. Yeah, I'm an Auburn grad, so it's definitely War Eagle here. I'm not, like, I don't get too serious about it. I was born and raised an Alabama fan, but, you know, you get older, you get smarter. This right here is Rock Hill Farms. So it was turned around backwards. So Rock Hill Farms, made by Buffalo Trace, 100 proof. This is what Blanton's wished it could be. And when the Lincoln comes, she comes. Cheech is linking to the, I'm going to check out this link right here and see what he's got on the Lincoln Continental. Let's check this out. Yeah, that's pretty much her right there. That side picture. The one I'm looking at is pastel yellow, though, with a black interior. Like a really, really gorgeous car. And I hope it falls to me. Like, I'm going to be disappointed if I don't get it at this point. It's going to save me a bunch of money, but I'm going to be disappointed if I don't get it because they're hard to come by. Seth, I am very much not ready for football this weekend. I'm ready for it, as in I'm excited about it. I want to watch some games. I am not ready from a, like, I have all day Saturday off kind of situation. I literally just tore a wall out in the bar. I need to be working on that. If the Lincoln comes through, I'm going to be in Michigan this weekend. So it's just, you know, one of those, I'm not ready for it, but I'm ready for it. Very much so. Especially like Georgia, Oregon. Oh my God, that's going to be fantastic. Can't get your hands on the Rock Hill Farms. It's really hard for me as well. I want to say I've had this bottle for a couple of years, maybe a few when it was a little easier. I do have a backup I was able to secure. I had to pay a little bit of a premium for it, but not what they go for secondary. Being born in Titletown and a UA grad. As long as you're a grad, you get all the credit in the world. If you're just an Alabama fan, I get to shit on you a little bit. What do I think about Oklahoma joining the SEC? I think it's going to be really fun. Oklahoma and Texas in the SEC. But, Lord, it just keeps getting harder. Like, as an Auburn fan, we don't have the advantages that a lot of these state schools have, right, from a recruiting perspective and things. And so Auburn has some advantages, but they're not super strong. And so it just keeps getting more difficult. And that kind of sucks. Like, I'm not one of those fans, like some Alabama fans, where it's like, it's win the title or bust. Like, if we didn't win the title, it's a horrible year. Let's fire some assistant coaches or something. Auburn, like, give me a really good season every 4 or 5 years and give me pretty good seasons in between them. I'm fairly satisfied with that. But, Lord, it's going to get harder and harder to do that. And next thing you know, are we losing 6 or 7 games a year just on the normal? Haven't seen a bottle of Rock Hill in 5 years. Woo. First gen Ram 1500 with 60K on the miles. Like, was it beat up? For $500, I assume it had to be beat up, right? Hank Williams Jr. in the chat. First car was a 70 Camaro. My first was an 81 Oldsmobile Cutlass. That's the one I claim as the first. Technically, I had a few before that, but none I drove. They were, either broke down or like I had one given to me and then taken away. That's a whole long story. T-shirt fans. Oh, what's the T-shirt fans? What is MSRP on the Rock Hill Farms bottle? Probably not a lot. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be not much different than Blanton's. But I don't know what the MSRP. And I'm going to try to type with one hand over here. MSRP of Rock Hill Farms. I'm curious myself. $60. Yeah. So right around Blanton's. But I like it better. I like it better than Blanton's. Can you go live more often? I need to, don't I? How often do I need to go live? Like, how often, if we keep getting folks hanging out, if we could build this up, I mean, we got 47. That's better than last week. That's better than the week before. Like, if we could keep doing 40, 50 people over here, I like it better. I love TikTok. Don't get me wrong. I love TikTok. But the problem with TikTok is that we streamed for an hour on TikTok, and I got the exact same question 75 times. And I get 3 questions 75 times. So I always get, what's the best for beginners? Which I don't mind answering. I don't want to answer it 75 times. And I always get, what do you think about Angel's Envy? Always get that one. And then there's 2 or 3 other questions that seem to kind of rotate. And then, folks just asking about the same bottles over and over and over because nobody sticks around, right? It's not a hangout. It's not a back and forth. It's just folks asking questions. And so this is some of the same folks every time, which we got a good crew over there. But I kind of like this vibe on YouTube a little better. Not to mention we could do some crazy stuff when I have time to build out this rig. 88 Dodge Daytona Turbo. My brother's girlfriend in high school had one of those black Shelby Daytonas. Hers was a piece of junk, but man, those would be fun. I wouldn't mind having one nowadays. If you get to Chattanooga, go by Junction 55. So Junction 55, like Bourbon 55, is that like Jay Mattingly? Is that what you're talking about? First car in 2016 was an 87 Fiero. Did it have T-tops? Like Fieros had the tops that pop, right? Did all of them? I don't know if all of them did. Very clean 83 Camaro Z28. There was a kid here rocking a 80-something Z28, and the car ran pretty good. The interior was perfect, but it had a bunch of surface rust on it. But it was just a great patina. White car, T-tops, just a great patinaed car. And I told him, I was like, if you ever sell that car, you need to give me a call. And I haven't seen it in a couple of years, and he never called me. Brando, what's going on? At least twice a week. Okay, we'll try to work that out. I'm trying to. I have not tried Chestnut Farms, no. If you can live 4 times a week, I'd enjoy my bourbon and cigars. Well, here's the thing. Here's a lesson for you on cigars. So, there were a few of y'all that were in the live yesterday where we just impromptu lived and we filmed videos. And I filmed a tasting notes video. And y'all have seen the tasting notes videos, I'm assuming. In that video, it said it tasted like tobacco. So we cut a piece of cigar off. And it was fine, no problem. I tried it. It was disgusting. But I had to refilm that video today. And that cigar, don't eat your cigars. Don't do it. I'm pretty sure it was the cigar or the clove. It made me sick. Like, that was bad news. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Thought I had the chat pulled up there. Here it goes. All right. So I'm trying to catch up here. YouTube is better. It's just more laid back. I like it. TikTok does provide more visibility, but nobody stays. Like, people come and go. They come in, they ask questions, and they bolt, right? And so the average view duration is much shorter. Your view numbers are higher, but I'm not as much into view numbers as I am into engaging and having a good time and hanging out with folks I like. And this is more of a hangout vibe. And we need to I got to figure out ways. I don't know if y'all just like me here talking, or if we need to figure out ways to make this more fun, but we'll do that. In the decanter, this here is Rock Hill Farms. And so this is the bottle. It's not a decanter. Like, this is the bottle it comes in. It's a cool decanter, though, if you use it for that. Doing all right, country boy. How you doing? Did you get all the farm work done today? Picked up an Angel's Envy in 2018. Was extremely delicious, and picked up another. It's just okay. And maybe that's what I like. The one I've got's an easy sipper. I'm not a port wine finish kind of guy, though. And so for port wine finish bourbon, I think it's pretty good. Like, it may be my favorite port wine finish on the planet, but it's still not something that I go back to and drink a lot. Fiero, not a safe car. Neither is a 70 Lincoln Continental with a death spear for a steering column, but no T-tops, just a sunroof. I love it. I don't know. It's something about, I had an 81 Cutlass, and another guy that went to my high school, 3 or 4 years older. So by the time I was driving, he was out, but he had gone to my high school and he was generally around. He had one just like mine, but his had T-tops. And I was always jealous of those T-tops, man. I wanted them so bad. Wanted them so bad. All right, so I'm trying to catch up here. Struggling on what I want for a second pour. Anything, man. Pick something. What are you thinking? Just subscribe tonight. Nice. I appreciate it. Junction 55 is a local distillery. Okay, I'll keep an eye out. Favorite Texas whiskey? I've not had a ton of Texas whiskey, but Garrison Brothers, I didn't like it, but it's grown on me. Yeah, Seth, if you have Weller Antique 107, according to Lance here, you need to pop it open. Actually, one of the safest and the few that caught fire. What about Rumble? Don't know anything about it. Triple Mash tasting notes, shores. Nice. I appreciate it, David. Spreading the word. Thank you. We could use all the help we can get. What's going on, Rob D? What's the batch on the Sam Houston? Let's look and see. I may have to get a light because it is dark in here. The camera, these are the big cameras, so I keep it really dark because this picks up a lot of light. You'll see, like if I shine that, how much light that camera picks up. This one is bottle 247 of 252, batch AL-1. Batch size 2 barrels. This one is from, holy shit. Oh, that's got to be when it was barreled. Oh, yeah. Barreled in 2006 for 15 years, so 21. I was about to say, ain't no way this was from 2006. Favorite meat to smoke? I'm a ribs guy, pork ribs. That's my thing. And like I said, I used to own a barbecue restaurant. We only did pork. We didn't do any brisket here in Alabama. But ribs are the only thing I smoke regularly now. So during football season, we'll smoke ribs a lot of weekends. Not too much going on. That's good, country boy. Relatively new, hadn't got any 107. Well, give us your options, Seth. We'll pick it for you. Dogs drug up a dead animal? Ooh, that happens, man. Dogs are like that. Maker's Mark 46 cash strength. I'm going to try this. I've got the 46. I just bought the 46, but I haven't had the cash strength. The EC Toasted Barrel. I had last year's. I don't think I've got one from this year. I haven't tried this year's. Last year's was really good. That's tough, country boy. Tough. Flaviar. I haven't tried it, but I've seen it. Anybody here tried Flaviar? Let me know. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it sounds like I am. If you're not subscribed to Brewzle, Cheech has got it right. I don't know what you're doing. Like, I don't know what's wrong. We have, so yesterday, we had 75,000 returning viewers on videos, but we only have like 15,000 subs. I'm like, what are the other 60,000 people doing? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Whiskey, vodka, gin, tequila. I'm all bourbon. Like everything else either makes me sick or I get in trouble. 85 Cutlass, 85 Monte Carlo SS or Grand National. I'm going to take a Grand National if you're asking me, T-Bone, which one of those I'm picking. I'm going to take the Grand National. I never was a big fan of the Monte Carlos. I don't know why. Now I like them more than I did as a youngster, but honestly, even then, I would take a Regal or a Cutlass over the Monte Carlo for some reason or another. Went with Thomas Moore Sherry Cask. Let me know. I'm not a big fan of sherry, or really finished whiskey, so I didn't buy those Thomas Moores. Making my own bottle tomorrow at Heaven Hill. How does that work, Danny? Tell me about it. Brother lives in Dothan. My son lives in Dothan. Nice. Recently subscribed. Started to get interested in bourbons. Wonder if you had any tips for starting, if location mattered in Virginia. Okay, so Virginia, probably not super easy to find stuff. So what I would recommend is if you're just getting started, is that you just try a bunch of different stuff. And don't worry about super hard to find stuff. If you can get some super hard to find stuff at a decent price, by all means, do that. But just start building your profile, right? If you can get a Buffalo Trace or an Eagle Rare, that, you know, those are not super hard to find. They're not just regularly available. But try an Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. Try a Wild Turkey 101. Just try a variety of stuff. Get you an Elijah Craig. And then start trying maybe some craft stuff. You know, pick up some Penelope. Penelope does exceptional stuff. And you can usually find it. I don't know about Virginia, how their distribution is there, but start trying different crafts and start trying to, you know, understand what distilleries make what. And you understand that, you know, Wild Turkey makes Wild Turkey, but they make the Russell stuff. And, you know, who makes this and who makes that. And you can start finding some similar flavor profiles. What's my go-to product line if you're talking about bourbon? You know, obviously Buffalo Trace makes a lot of my favorite, but more specifically the Weller stuff. Good old Commonwealth, exactly. $40 for the class. Don't know what the bottle will cost. Yeah. Do you know what kind of bottle it is, though? So you're taking a class. Like, what is the class? It's a whiskey blending class? Are you making your own blend? Because that would be really cool. Like, if you could pay $40, you could go in there and make your own blend, and then you could buy a bottle at the end of it, and they would, like, teach you, like, different things, and you sample different ones, and you make your own mix. That sounds like a really good time. I don't know if that's what it is, though. I have not tried Redneck Riviera, so we're doing some celebrity whiskeys. We've done Long Branch. I just tried Proper 12. We just filmed that video that'll be coming out later this week or next week. So that Redneck Riviera is from the country musician, I forget his name. So that's on the list. I don't know when we'll get to it, though. Ezra Brooks Single Barrel, good but needs ice. Yeah, try a little water in them too. So when we do our bourbon reviews, we're about to start doing some bigger reviews. We're going to try them neat. We're going to try them with water. We're going to try them with ice. We're going to make an old fashioned. Probably going to mix it with Pepsi just to troll people too. But Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee batches of Sam Houston. I've really enjoyed this one. A little oaky, but I like it. All should be under $40. Understand that. Started with Knob Creek, Woodford, Buffalo Trace, and Elijah Craig. Yeah, good ones. Knob Creek tends to be a little oakier, a little more, you know, a little more oaky, but I like them. All of those are good selections. Stepdad likes Eagle Rare, but he hates anyone opening it. Yeah, well, if it's hard to find where you're at, then that would make sense. I would probably be mad too. Make your own blend. That sounds like fun, man. Have a good time with that. John Rich. There you go. Big and Rich, right? Wasn't that the band? Wasn't that the band? I don't know. I'm just going back and forth between this like nice, sweet honey 100 proofer and then this guy here that's a little more oaky, 103 proof. So what are y'all drinking right now? Everybody give me a status update. Eagle Rare right there. I probably need some Eagle Rare. I was going to do some experiments with Eagle Rare, and I may still. I was thinking about doing them on the stream tonight, but didn't have time to set them up. Yes, Mr. Salty. I'm a little frustrated by them, to be honest with you. they keep telling me that they are going to sign the agreement that I sent to them. They keep telling me there's no problem. They told me they would have it within a day and in a day and in a day, and then this weekend came and gone, and I didn't get it, and I texted them today. I was like, man, is there a problem? Like, do I need to start looking for somebody else? Like, what needs to happen here? And they're like, no problem. Sorry, we just had some issues we had to deal with, and, just kind of slipped through the cracks, and we'll sign it within the next 24 hours. So I just can't start promoting it. I've already got a developer building the system to pull comments and stuff. So we're already in works, but I'm still just waiting. First of all, I've got to wait for them to agree, and then they got to send me bottles to film with, and then we got to film, and then we got to edit. So it doesn't look like we're going to start the first week of the month like we had hoped, but I'm still hoping within the next few weeks we'll have everything together and ready to start pumping out those giveaways. So for those that don't know, we're going to give away. What we've done is we had a liquor store reach out and says, how about I send you bottles and you give us a shout out? I was like, okay, I mean, that sounds like fun, but what would be more fun to me is if you gave away bottles to folks watching the videos and I give you shout outs. So just note when you start seeing my videos and I'm shouting out a particular liquor store, and it'll just be like, hey, we're reviewing Sam Houston 15 that I got from this particular liquor store. So, it's not going to be over the top salesy or anything. We're just going to mention them. They will be sponsor of the live stream when we give these away and stuff. And so we're going to start adding that into the mix. And you'll know when you start seeing those videos, you'll know that we're under full swing to start promoting that. But what I've asked them to do is we're going to give away an entire flight of Weller products, which are my favorites. So we're going to give away one a week. Instead of the whole group. So we're going to give away a Weller Special Reserve, and then we're going to give away a 107, and then a 12, and then a Full Proof, and a Single Barrel, and a CYPB. I don't know exactly the order. Probably a similar order. We may give the Single Barrel away later because it seems to be the most rare. So that's kind of what we're thinking at this point, and we're just going to give them away to folks based on comments. We're just going to literally pick a random comment from TikTok or YouTube and give the bottle away. Well, I start running my trap. I fall way behind in the chat. What's going on? The little guy from Big and Rich. I'll have to try Old Camp. Who's Old Camp made by? About 3 months new into 21 and found a taste for whiskey, rye, and bourbon, so really exploring anything. Nice. Heaven's Door is by Dylan. I keep forgetting that. I really need to check that out. Heaven's Door is a solid celebrity bourbon by Dylan. I'll have to, for sure. I'll have to give that one a try if you say it's good. I like the Smoke Wagon I have. I'm pretty sure all the Smoke Wagon stuff is just MGP sourced whiskey, which there's a lot of good MGP out. But the Smoke Wagon I have, I forget which one it is. I think it's a small batch in there. It's really good. McKenna 10, that's a good one. I like it. Had to pay $43 for a green label Weller and $90 for Eagle Rare. Green label Weller for 43 is not terrible. I've seen it much worse. 90 for Eagle Rare is a lot. Like I'd probably just pass on that. C's, good vibes. Man, we always try to keep the good vibes. We don't want anything too crazy or over the top. We're not trying to be negative. We're just trying to hang out and have a good time. So I appreciate everybody hanging out. I mean, heck, we got 54 people in here. That's fantastic. And Lord knows I need to watch time, so we need to keep this energy and entertainment up. Let's see. Sipping Wild Turkey 101. Good. My favorite cheap bourbon, just regularly available. Blue Note Juke Joint 4-barrel 121 proof. Lord have mercy. Another Eagle Rare. JTS Brown. Hey, nothing wrong with that. I got JW Dant. I don't have the JTS Brown. EHT Single Barrel. Oh, y'all moving the chat faster. I can keep up. I like it. 110 proof and up. Jim Beam Signature Craft. Eagle Rare makes a hell of a whiskey sour? Huh. I mean, it's a $30 bourbon. Mix it. Now, it's hard to come by $30 bourbon, but sure, mix it. Rare Breed, another high proof hitter. Love it. I have SH from Michigan, Kentucky. You have all of them, it sounds like. Coors. Now, are you drinking like Coors Light or respectable? You drinking a respectable beer like Coors Banquet? And no hate if you're drinking Coors Light. I'll hit that sometimes myself. Barrel Craft Batch 33. Let me know what you think of that. Pernicious IPA. Nothing wrong with that. Blanton's Black. Awesome. Son and I watched this together. Is your son old enough to drink, or are you just prepping him? Like, are we grooming him? Is that what we're doing? Just drive down and pick yours up. Florida Georgia Line brand. Okay, I'll have to keep. I'll keep an eye out for that. If you fall any further behind, yeah, Whiskey Encore. He does this. He does this. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna skip through unless somebody asks any questions. Cody Harkins. I don't know if he knows Cody or not. That name sounds familiar though. Dothan's a pretty big area though. $200 for Eagle Rare? Lord have mercy. Cheap McKenna. I've got some cheap McKenna in there. It's fine. It's not exceptional, but it's fine. Follow Cheech. Yeah, if y'all are not following Cheech at Whiskey Encore, now he goes live late, but he's got a fun stream. He brings a bunch of people on. Say, I'm sitting here just talking to y'all myself, and he'll bring folks on and have a good time. I like his streams. I enjoy them a lot. Weller 12 for $200. I wouldn't pay $200 for Weller 12, no. But a lot of people would. And if you really like it, then fine. Like, I'm not going to judge. You do you. It's cool. I just don't like it enough to pay $200 for it. Now, I'd pay $200 for a Weller Full Proof. Sure. Would not regularly, but if I just didn't have one, I needed one, I would. But they go for $4+, so $350, something like that. Got a bottle of Brown Forman Early Times. I've got a bottle of Brown Forman Early Times in there. I didn't even realize it was Brown. Well, actually, yeah, the new Brown Forman is now the one handling Early Times, right? Bottle and bond. I didn't realize it had changed when I bought it, and somebody mentioned the difference in the caps. I'm like, well, mine's got a different cap, and it's a 1 liter. I don't know if there's technically any difference in them right now. The rumor is they're still getting the whiskey from the same place. Angel's Envy Rye, JTS Brown is probably the best sub 15, under 15 bottle. Okay. Would you explain store picks? Okay, so store picks, realistically, what a store is going to do is they're going to go buy an entire barrel. So they're going to hook up with a distillery or a distributor or somebody, and they're going to go pick a barrel. So typically folks that sell whiskey, distillers, are going to blend into batches and do different things. They may release it as a single barrel, but they're usually trying to release to a certain flavor profile. So when you go to do a store pick, they give you several different samples to choose from, and you choose one that you like best. So you can get something that's a little off the normal profile. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it is. It might be a little oakier, it might be a little sweeter, might have a different note. But that store will then get the entire barrel bottled up and sent to them. And so instead of them getting like a case of Eagle Rare, if they bought an Eagle Rare store pick, they may have 130 Eagle Rare. So you can kind of get one, and it's going to have like a store pick sticker on it. I think I've got I'm trying to see if, I don't think any of these I've got back here are store picks. I thought maybe they were. But they'll have like a store pick sticker on them. So you just kind of get some interesting different flavors and stuff. And I just keep getting further behind. Banquet, good stuff. Horses Bourbon, I like it. Favorite beer, my regular sipper is going to be that Coors Banquet. Stag Junior without the Junior on the label. Have you cracked it open? Let me know. Gotta get them early. Foolproof 250. They go for $350 plus on secondary. I probably wouldn't pay $250, but if I really needed one, I might have to. Showcase. This is really for work. This is my work set. Up here on the top, I don't know if y'all can see them. Let me look. Oh, y'all can't see these. It's the whole Blanton set up there. There's like 8 Blantons and a bunch of Blanton's minis. Up there, there's an Old Forester birthday bourbon that y'all can't see either, and a Weller Antique 107. Here, Rip 10. There's a Blanton's Gold. There's an Old Fit 17. A Handy Sazerac Rye, George T. Stagg. Weller Full Proof, which I've got to mail to somebody. Rock Hill Farms, Stag Junior, Eagle Rare, which that Eagle Rare might be a store pick, and then Elijah Craig 18. So just those are backup bottles for stuff I have open on the bar. Like none of those are sacred. They're just, except for the birthday bourbon. I'm saving that one for 20 more years. We'll be drinking that one. Special Reserve better than 12 to me. I like it better than the 12. for sure. Just picked up a Weller Foolproof store pick. Nice. Have you tried it? I haven't had Penelope toasted, but the other Penelope stuff I've had has been fantastic. Cheech, send the link to subscribe. We also have the Patreon set up if y'all are into that. Like, I'm not here to beg and panhandle, but it is set up, and I do like money. I am trying to buy Lincoln. So far, we've got enough to almost pay for like 10 miles of gas in this thing. I found out it gets like 10 miles to the gallon. Is there an early times and an early times? I don't think so, but there's early times bottle and bond. I have tried Davidson's Reserve. I had a Davidson's Reserve. I don't remember how much I liked it. We drank it, but I don't recall much about it. I don't have super chats on right now, C's, because we are not monetized. We really have only started posting here on YouTube. This week is 8 weeks. We've been posting regularly, I think. We posted a couple of videos early on as tests, but we've only been posting for 8 weeks. And so to get monetized, you have to have 1,000 subs, which we have obviously obtained. And you have to have 4,000 hours of watch time. But the shorts don't count. And almost all of our watch time's on shorts. So if you want to help us get monetized so we can turn that on, these live streams help. These count, so these help. Having 50 folks here for an hour or two was going to be a huge step toward that. But also watching the long form videos. So if you see the square or the rectangular thumbnail come up on a video, a long form video, watching those really helps us out as well. So we'll turn that on as soon as we get monetized, but we're just too new. Just too new. Whiskey Encore is Cheech's stream. William LaRue Weller, what's my second best Weller? Antique 107. Country boy, get that tractor back, man. You got some work to do. Brown Fort, yeah, plastic cap. Okay, I'm just going to jump to, like, do I need to just jump to the start? Pikesville. I'm going to get the Pikesville. That's one of the, Sagamore and Pikesville is what we're looking for. Store picks. I need to do some store picks. If y'all know somebody I can hook up with to do a store pick, please let me know. Found you through the shorts when I did one today. It almost killed me. I'm going to be honest. I was sick to my stomach for hours after that. Am I caught up? I thought I was still a page behind. No, I'm not caught up. Lord have mercy. Pretty close. If I missed anything, I apologize. I'm trying to catch up so I can look at y'all and I don't have to look over here and scroll back. Yeah, it sucks that shorts don't count, but that's just life. Like that's, YouTube has a hard time running ads in front of them, so they don't want to monetize them. You would think the time would count, but it just doesn't. Bourbon Kingdom, I am all out of Pepsi. I meant to go today. I literally had a video I couldn't even shoot today because I'm mixing something with Pepsi, and I didn't even have any Pepsi. So we are just drinking straight up some Sam Houston 15 and a little Rock Hill Farms right there. How are you doing, man? I may be, weren't you, like you're in Indiana, is that right? Where are you located? I'm wondering if I come by. I'm trying to get back up to Michigan. And if I come through your neck of the woods, I'd like to get together and grab a meal or something. But I just don't, I don't know where everybody's at because I just met y'all in Michigan. So, don't know. If you could have a bottle of any bourbon to drink, what would it be? Like if we're just wishing what we could try. This stuff, like this is delicious. I've got I got 200 delicious bottles in there and I'm just happy as a lark. So if there's something I'm wishing for, it's for the meme or for the shock value. So what would I like to open? I would like a Double Eagle, right? $20,000, $30,000 bottle in the secondary market. I would like one of those to open. An OFC, which those are just, several, $5,000, $6,000 for those on the secondary market typically. I would just want to open ones I just want to open the stuff that people collect so that all those people will be like, oh my God, he opened it. I appreciate it, C's. I could use the money, that's for sure. Basically Louisville. So I came right through Louisville, I'm pretty sure. So like I had to go 75. 75 comes right by you, right? So I went over to Atlanta, took 85 to 75, and then 75 pretty much all the way to Michigan. So I should come right up through there. Now, we'll see we'll see. The Lincoln is a whole iffy thing. I won't know. Hopefully tomorrow afternoon I'll know. But like literally, I've got to find out tomorrow afternoon, and then I'm trying to get up there Saturday and then come back Sunday. So I like it just, and I've got to be back Monday sometime. So it's just kind of complicated. Early batch 1 or 2 Kentucky Owl. I keep hearing great things about Kentucky Owl. I need to try some. Like I said, I said it on the other stream, so y'all may not have heard, but I bought a Kentucky Owl confiscated and just didn't care anything for it. Like it's fine, but it's not $150. So every time I've seen a Kentucky Owl, I've just passed on it. And I just didn't know. I'm an idiot. Like that's what it boils down to. I just didn't know. Oh, Cheech, OFC, just rub it in, Cheech, rub it in. Rios, Texas, where you at in Texas? I'm not in Georgia, I'm in Alabama. So I'm across the line over there in Opelika, Auburn area, basically. Lots of work, disking food plots, bush hogging trails. Man, it's this guy, country boy is the right description. He sounds like me growing up, except I wasn't working that hard. You were going to make me work. Yeah, I mean, I've got the 10, 12, and then the 15, which is technically Pappy's. Is it worth the dollars? Secondary dollars? No, it's not worth the dollars. None of that Buffalo Trace stuff that's overhyped is worth the dollar. This is a delicious bourbon, and this goes for $400 on the secondary market. And is it worth that? No. Is it worth the $60 that the distillery said to sell it for? Absolutely. Is it worth $100? Sure. For $150, I'd buy these all day long. But no, secondary on those, like the Pappy stuff, $1,000 for a RIP 10 nowadays. Like what the hell's wrong with these people? Favorite from different prices. We're working on it. You don't know me. We're working on it. So we were doing a series of under 20. We were starting at under 20, and we were going to work our way up. But those videos just tanked on TikTok. Like they just didn't, compared to our normal videos, they just didn't do real well. So we stopped releasing them. We had like 8 of them filmed, and we stopped releasing them after 2 or 3 and tried a few different things. I think we released one, didn't do good. We tried a little something different, didn't do good. Tried another one. Now they got pulled up because we released bangers right after it, and then they shot up in views, but they didn't do good on their own. And so we're trying. I literally filmed another one today to try that, and we're going to finish under 20, and we're going to work our way up and do it under 30 and move the winner from under 20 up and that kind of stuff. Waterford, Michigan. Bourbon Freak. He has an open Pappy Van Winkle 23. Nice. Yeah, T-Bone, it is pretty much West Georgia, isn't it? Pennsylvania in the house. Hey, San Antonio. Had a great time in San Antonio last time I was there. The Bourbon Kingdom dude gets every freaking bottle known to man and claims it's luck. It's not luck. He either puts in the time, the money, or the connections, because he's doing a good job. He has a lot of really nice bottles. I just need to make closer friends with people like that so they'll share with me, right? How do we do that? Batches 1, 2, 3 on the Kentucky Owl Rise. Cheech got a collection there too. This Rock Hill Farms is hitting good tonight, though. Hitting good tonight. Okay, so what do we mean by secondary? So, like, this is made by Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace sells this bottle, or they MSRP at like $60. So, whatever, 50, $60. And the problem is this gets highly desirable. People want it. Buffalo Trace stuff gets a ton of hype. It's just kind of trickled down from all their other, like Pappy stuff gets a bunch of hype. Then the Wellers, everybody shoots it out of the price range. Then people are like, well, Wellers is similar. Let's, take the price of that up. And this guy gets a lot of hype as well. So this bottle goes on the secondary market for $400. What does that mean? That means that somebody took this and they bought it at MSRP. Say maybe I waited in line and I bought this, or I found it in the store, I bought it. And then I go on Facebook and drop it into one of these bourbon buy now groups, and I sell it in the secondary market, right? Now, some liquor stores are secondary market stores. So here in Alabama, everything is ABC. So it's state controlled, but we've got like a little gas station liquor stores and a lot of liquor stores around the beach and stuff. Those are all secondary stores. They're buying it from ABC, and then they're having to resell it and mark it up a little bit. So those are going to always be a little more expensive, those stores. And sometimes they'll just flat out mark it up. So they'll put this on their store shelf for $400 or $500. A lot of those stores even put it way above what it's actually selling for on the secondary price. And they just hope some sucker someday comes in and wants it really, really bad and pays $500 for it. You know, some drunk tourist comes in stumbling off the beach and decides he wants to pay $500 for a bottle of Rock Hill Farms. So it's really just the secondary market is the market, the resale market on these bottles. All right, country boy, take it easy. We'll see you in a bit. Any good drops in Alabama this week? No, Alabama drops once a month. Now, we pretty much have no chains whatsoever, so it is all state-run. And the state dropped last month. So month before last, they dropped Russell's Reserve 13. So I got a Russell's Reserve 13. I got the Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend. I got a Weller Full Proof. And we obviously shot the video on. Everybody knows what happens to at least one of those bottles. This past month, so I released that video, and that video went crazy. This month, the drop was pretty much dead. Like, they were good bottles, but not next tier bottles. They were Blanton's Eagle Rare, stuff like that. So I don't know if the state of Alabama saw that video, because it got millions of views. So they might have saw it. I might have ruined it for everybody. I don't know. Or they have a lottery in, I think it's November, the lottery. So they may just be storing up bottles for the lottery. So I don't know if it just happened to be a bad month and it was just coincidence. So we'll see. We'll find out what's in the drop in a week or two. It's published on the website. I don't know what day they release that information. My guess is it'll be next week, probably the 6th or 7th. They'll release when and where. And usually it's like the 3rd weekend of the month or something. Rock Hill Farms. I assume that's what Rick HFS is for 500 in Kentucky. That's nuts. That's nuts. Yeah, Rock Hill Farms. Owa at that drop. Been looking for the foolproof now. Nice. It's a good one. I had a bunch of foolproofs, and now they're all gone. I wasted one. A friend wanted one. Traded one, and now I'm out. That cigar blend was so good. It was really surprising. Now, I figured when I got it, I was like, okay, cigar blend. It's either going to taste like cigars or it's made to complement cigars. I figure it's made to complement cigars. So I play it up a little bit for the video because I really didn't know. I was like, okay, it's called like, I don't know if I'm going to like this because I don't really smoke cigars. But that bottle was exceptional. In Alabama, you just go to Alabama ABC. So it's alabcboard.gov. And then there's there's like a limited release section. So like there's an August limited release. So you can see like here they dropped Blanton's, Buffalo Trace, E.H. Taylor, Eagle Rare, Early Times Bottle and Bond, and Willet Pot Still if you wanted that. That's what they dropped here. And so next month, who knows? Now I can look at the calendar. Let's see, what are we? September 12th. So on the 12th, they'll release what's going to be where. And then the 24th is when those bottles will actually hit. And then we'll have the lottery. Like I said, I think it's November or December they do the lottery. I think it's later this year than it was last year, so it might be pushed into December. Yeah, there you go. Kyle's got it right there. Craig, Widow Jane 10. I like Widow Jane 10 a lot. I like the 13 better, though. Any Kirkland whiskey reviews? Will, I want to, but I don't have a Costco membership. Like the closest Costco is like 45 minutes away from me. So I don't have a membership. I'm gonna get, I got a buddy that's got a membership. I'm gonna have him pick me up a bottle though, because I really want to try them. But thanks, hey, new to the channel, I appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate you supporting us in the live stream here. We need to watch time. There is an app to go find what ABC store has what bottle, but not the allocated stuff. So if you're looking for Blanton's, those are gone day one. Like those never sit on the shelf. Now you might find like, I could probably go, if they dropped Early Times Bottle and Bond last week, I could probably go to the liquor store right now and they'd have them because those don't just fly off the shelf. They're kind of hard to come by, but they're not super, super desirable. But AL Boss is the app. But you like, if you want an ancient age, it'll tell you what store it's in. It does have, okay, so Devin, Widow Jane does have George Dickel in it. And I hate George Dickel. And so I do get a little of that, but it's a little different and subtle. And so I like it, right? It's one of those weird things where, and it depends on the batch. So the first batch I got had a little more of that, so I liked it less. but I gave it one more chance with another bottle. And all right, Bourbon Kingdom, take it easy. I appreciate you hanging out. But, you know, I gave it a chance with another bottle, and that bottle was much more subtle with that flavor profile. Mr. Salty, I do need another Weller Foolproof. Yes. So hit me up. We'll talk about it. Nancy Freely interviews on YouTube. She blends, the Joseph Magnus cigar blend. I'll have to look that up. She did a great job with the one I have. It's freaking awesome. Too impatient to build a collection? Here's how you build a collection. Just buy them faster than you drink them. You don't have to wait. Just keep buying. Like, if you just buy 5 or 6 every week, you're going to end up with a collection unless you're drinking really heavily. VA drops after 2 weeks. You should just look in the window every morning. Like, okay. So they don't give you any notice. You just have to walk by and check it out, huh? That's kind of painful. Alabama used to be great. But again, that's just me being sentimental because I could take advantage of the system. But I used to be able to just swing by. We knew the truck runs on Tuesday. So I would just show up at 9 o'clock on Tuesday. The store opened at 10. I would be first in line there because you didn't know if they were going to get anything. But if they did get anything, you could buy one of every bottle. So if they got like 5 or 6 really good bottles, you could buy one of every one of them. And there was hardly anybody there. Like I said, if I got there an hour ahead of time, I'd be first or second in line. And that would be fun. I got a lot of really good bottles before they went to this system at the start of last year. Larceny for the price, do you think it's a solid pour? I'm not a huge fan of just normal Larceny. The barrel strength stuff, some of those batches have been really good. The one I've got on my bar is just okay, though. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate you hanging out, man. We can use all the help we can get. Maybe CH, but we have long form videos. And so historically, like what we've been doing thus far is our long form videos have just been longer cuts of the shorts. Now, early on, we sabotaged ourselves a little bit because we would release the long form and the short in the same day. And if somebody watched the short, why would they watch the long form? Even though the long form was a lot funnier. It's like a 3-minute version, whereas the 1 minute is just really hard. You got to cut a lot of stuff out. So we sabotaged ourselves, but now we release, the long form 3 or 4 days before we release the short version of anything. And so we're getting more views. Like we've gotten one that got like 1,500 views, and I think the one we released, the bourbon thing, but it's complicated as well because our shorts are a little more alcohol focused and not exactly bourbon. Like it's a little more having fun, and the long form is a little more like bourbon stuff. And so we've got this, like I'm a bourbon guy, so I want to do bourbon content, but I'm caught in this mix of, do we go for views or do we do what's fun and I want to do? And it's got to be fun, but the views, if we just did Crown Peach stuff and bartending stuff, we could probably get a few more views. But that's just not what I'm going to do. But realistically, we might have should have put the long form and the short form on different channels. Don't know. But we're also extending our long form videos now. So they're, the ones we're shooting, we're just putting more production and more effort into the content. And so they're like 5 or 6 minutes now instead of 2 or 3. Pour 3 of Eagle Rare Thomas S. Moore Sherry Cask was pretty good. Awesome. I'm glad you like it. Did Buffalo Trace slow their bottling down, or is it it's just demand? It's just more people want it. Like it's just trickled. All of their stuff just super high in demand. Now they're making a ton of it, so I'm sure 3 years from now, 4 years from now, they'll have a ton of that stuff in the market. But it takes years. Like once supply goes crazy, well, if it's got 4-year whiskey in it, so once the demand goes crazy, the supply can't catch up for like 4 years. You want 15-year-old Pappy? You want to make more of that? Well, it takes 15 years. So it's just far better than regular larceny. I would agree with that. That's how Ohio is learn the day drops and show up an hour early and hope. That would be fun. That was like there's some days you go, you don't get anything. But when you do score, you score great, and you don't have to dedicate 24 or 30 something hours to it. That's kind of what I feel, Cheech. Like we like experimenting with the shorts, so we're going to continue the experimentations and the really playfulness. The long form stuff, we've got some ideas on some fun things to do there, but the long form is always going to be a little different, and they're always going to be slightly different audiences, unfortunately. Yeah, we were just talking about Widow Jane. It's got a little George Dickel in it, which I'm not a fan of, but I do like Widow Jane. I like the 10-year. I really like the 13-year that I have in there. I couldn't tell there was any George Dickel in it at all. The 15-year, I did not like. I gave that bottle away. Marine veteran and high school teacher in Dayton, Ohio, came home and started his own whiskey company called Freedom. That sucks, man. I thought that was going to be a good story there for a minute. You know, everybody's got their demons, and unfortunately, sometimes it gets the best of us. 1 hour before open, is it going to cut it at Kroger? I was trying to read that, and it scrolled out of my frame here. In Ohio, more like 3-4 hours before it opens if you want to be among the first 6. And that's kind of the problem. If they only get 6, that sucks. Love a review of this stuff. I'll keep an eye out for it. I don't know if they distribute here, but I will keep an eye out for that. Yeah, you know, as long as we're having fun, we're going to keep trying. But we are trying for views. It's kind of funny on TikTok. A lot of folks are like, "Oh, you're just trying to build clout." Well, I mean, why you create content? You don't want people to watch it. It's kind of crazy. So we are chasing the views. I mean, heck, we had 250,000 views yesterday, which is just nuts to me. Like, I've been doing content for work on YouTube for 4 or 5 years, and outside of that we have some views that were run by ads when we did a thing with a partner. We did more views yesterday on this channel than we did in 5 years cumulative of work stuff. Like, that just blows my freaking mind. And today's going to look like we're going to cross 300,000 views for the day. Like, that's just nuts. That is nuts, man. I'm glad folks are loving the content, because honestly, work stuff's kind of frustrating. All right, you don't know me. I appreciate you hanging out, having a good time. Enjoyed having you here. Old Forester single barrel strength rye. I have not tried the rye, but I'm looking for one. Strike out more than I score. Yeah, you're going to put time in. And, you know, that's why I'll put a bunch of time in if it's a guarantee, because, you know, sometimes I'd rather just know what the investment's going to be. Oh, I got to wait. I got to get there at midnight and wait 10 hours. But I know if I'm this place in line, I'm going to get a bottle. Sometimes that's better than me driving to 50 stores, right? Why did you stand in line so long just to waste the Weller Foolproof? Well, Sean, that was not my intention when I got that bottle. I posted that video. First of all, you got to understand the scenario. I work from home. I'm in this room right here for like 60 or 70 hours a week. And so I'd been here for like 8 days straight or something. When I say I'd been here, I mean, I had not left this yard in like 8 days. And so I was just kind of burnt out. I was tired. I wanted to get out of the house and do something. The bourbon drop's going on. I needed a bottle for a video. So I jetted over to the store where they're going to have the drop. And there's already a guy in line. Like, there's already somebody. There's Thursday at 3 o'clock. There's always somebody there. I was like, well, doggone, I want to get out of the house. I'm just going to sit here and hang out with this guy. I called my wife and I was like, could you bring me a folding chair? And she's like, I'll come hang out with you too. I ain't got nothing going on. So she just came, we hung out, we pulled up a folding chair, sat there and hung out with the guy, talked to the guy, had a good time. And then I'm like second in line, and I'm guaranteed a Russell's Reserve 13 and a Weller Foolproof. Well, then other folks showed up later that night, and so I ended up working a trade and got an Old Fit 17 out of it because my wife was getting bottles too. I ended up going back through line later and got a Joseph Magnus cigar blend because nobody there wanted to pay $150 for a bottle. They got 6 cigar blends, and the first 70 people in line, they sold 2. So when we went back through, there were still 4 of them sitting there. Now, I could only buy 1, so I bought 1. I wished I'd have had my wife go back through and I'd have got 2, but luckily some other guys that were with me went back through and got it as well. So we just hung out and had a good time. And then I did the video. Like, I wasn't even going to do the video. I had this much bigger video planned. It didn't work out. So I'm sitting there morning of, and I was like, I need to film something. So I just did the whole, I've been in this parking lot for 43 hours, and we put it on TikTok. And I just, like, from the minute it dropped, it was just hate. It was just hate, hate, hate. You're an idiot. No bottle's worth it. This is dumb. You're a tater. Like, just hate, 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 hate. And I'm trying to explain to these people in the comments. We reply to almost every comment we can. Like I get overwhelmed sometimes and we miss some, or if a video goes crazy, or if it's been out for like on YouTube, it's hard because they'll be out for like 10 days, 12 days, and then they go nuts. And I'm trying to work the ones that are brand new. But we try to reply to every comment. So I'm trying to explain to folks and explain to them, and it's not about the bottles. Like I was having a good time. It was cool bourbon people. We were tailgating. And so then, you know, they didn't get it. So I was like, okay, well, how about we create a video where we just show that the bottles mean nothing to me. Like they don't mean anything. These are not, I'm not collecting them. I'm not selling them. I was just going to drink it. So let's drain pour it. How can we drain pour it in the most spectacular way possible? Because if you're going to do it, you might as well do it for views. And so I was like, what if it would start a lawnmower? Like I was curious, will 114 proof start a lawnmower? Probably not. I think it will try to run, but it probably won't run well. I was like, well, shit, I got a brand new lawnmower. Let's give it a try. Let's pour that sucker in there and see what's up. And so shot that video. And then, of course, we just get a ton of hate on that one as well. But at least I was asking for the hate on that one, right? I was asking for the hate. So it was just, we were just trolling the haters, unfortunately. And Sacrifice, I love that bottle. I love that bottle. And it's one of my favorites. But sacrificing that bottle was worth trolling the haters with the response we got. So I'm way behind now. Way behind. Like, Lord have mercy, I'm like 2 pages behind. Going fast. When you're number 7 and they have 6, oh yeah, I've done that with Stag Jr. I was actually 6 with Stag Jr. They were supposed to have 6, but they only had 5. I assume an employee slid one back. That hurt. Because I knew I was going to get one, and I didn't get it. Maybe TikTok will help pull. We went live there for an hour and then come over here. I think that helps some. We usually use Ancient Age in an old-fashioned here. It's my wife's favorite, so that's just what I go with. Four Roses Single Barrel. I like it a lot. The barrel strength is next level. Appreciate it, Jeremiah. 7th in line for EHT Barrel Proof. Oh, God, that sucks. Country Boy's back. Well, appreciate it, Jeremiah. Should I pour some 101 or Buffalo Trace? You probably already drank it by now. I'm so far behind. But go with the 101, man. Go with the 101. Weller Full Proof and the lawnmower hurt deeply. It hurt me too, Sam. It hurt me. I believe me, it hurt me more than it hurt you. Because I had, like at that point, or that morning, I had 4 bottles. I had one open, I was drinking. I had a backup, but a buddy, and then I had one my wife was going to get, and then... so I had the one I was going to get, the one my wife was going to get. I had a backup bottle, and I had one open on the bar. So I'm standing in line. A buddy calls me, and he's like, hey, he really needs a Weller Full Proof. I was like, okay, I got a bunch of them. I'll send you one, no problem, because he hooks me up with good bottles. So I'm going to send him one. So now I'm down to 2, but a guy behind us in line is upset because he's not going to get one. He really wants a Russell Reserve 13. So I ended up trading the Russell Reserve 13 and Weller Full Proof for the Old Fit 17 that he had got the previous week because he ended up with 2 of those. So that was a good trade. And then, so now I've only got the 1 bottle I got and the backup bottle that's almost empty, and I ended up pouring it in a lawnmower. And so now all I got's a little bit left in a bottle in there. It hurt, but the views were worth it. I got plenty of other bottles to drink. Appreciate it, JPX. Cincy. Yeah, I love the wood finishing series from Maker Mark. FAE01's freaking delicious. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Trying to catch up. Go find the small liquor stores. Around here, there are a few small liquor stores I get stuff from occasionally. You have to pay a little markup, but I get some. First bottle of Four Roses Single Barrel. Nice. Let the haters hate. That's how I feel, right? Sometimes I ask for it, though. I do. I'm one of those guys. It's like the Karate Kid, right? You watch the Karate Kid in just the right way. Daniel LaRusso, that dude's a punk, and he deserves everything he gets. I'm a little bit that. It was a fun time. Never been, like, Four Roses, like, seriously, some of those store pick Four Roses are freaking exceptional. Before I blow up and get too busy, I hope I never get too busy. It is hard sometimes, to just kind of cut through the noise and all the spam and the crap that's throwing your way just to make sure we find the cool folks like the ones hanging out here. In Columbus, Georgia. Nice, just right down the road. Go to Bourbon Fest in Indianapolis next year. I mean, that sounds like fun. I would like to. When is it? Let me know the date on that. I need to get it on my calendar. I literally will have to put it on a calendar to try to make sure I remember it. How do I find the lawnmower video? Look on YouTube and there's a long cut. Watch the long cut because you're going to watch the shortcut. Everybody in shortcuts like, oh, he faked that. There's a cut. There's an edit. Well, I had to get it under 60 seconds. Believe me, the YouTube long form version, you should see it. The thumbnail is me with a lawnmower and a bottle of Weller. What's the shortest 750 milliliter bottle of whiskey that you know? I don't, my bottle, well, I mean, like Rock Hill Farms and stuff, you get some, you know, Detling bottles, you know, there's the little round ones. So you can find some, because I had that problem at my last, you know, like the Jack Daniels barrel strength stuff, they'll fit on a shorter bottle or a shorter shelf. Blanton's will usually fit on a shorter shelf. So you can usually find some little squatty bottles. Appreciate it there, Rios. Hey, country boy, I understand. Appreciate you hanging out. Never tried Ancient Age. Okay, so Ancient Age. Ancient Age is very thin and watery and very bottom shelf. Ancient Age is going to be much more like a Buffalo Trace, right? It's going to be very similar to a Buffalo Trace without the hype and the marketing. Probably not as good and complex, but if you're going to mix a Buffalo Trace, just mix an Ancient Age, because I assure you when you mix them, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. And honestly, if you blind them, you might not be able to tell the difference unless you're like really got a developed palate. I should make it live next Wednesday, yes. I should make it live. I don't know any reason right now why I would not. Shit happens, but you know, I don't know. I'm gonna try to do these regular. I'm gonna try to start doing an hour on TikTok and then moving over here. And we might try to find a second night. The problem is there's so many cool live streams on YouTube, and there's like a little community of bourbon enthusiasts that I like to interact with. I like to jump in their streams and watch their stuff, and I don't want to step on their toes. And honestly, we're trying to go big. Like, we want to go after views. We want to really build a community, and I don't want to be competing with them for views, right? And I really want to be engaged with them. So we're trying to not step on toes and find a time that works. And every time I pick a time and I go live, somebody's like, hey, this other person's streaming. I was like, I didn't even know. So we're still trying to find a time to do it. Have you tried any of the finished High West Double Rye? I have not tried that yet. I'll have to keep an eye out for it, though. Scotch. Scotch is like a good bourbon somebody soaked rubber bands in. Yeah, Cheech has got the link for that. Is pot still all hype? Here's the thing with Willet Pot Still. Willet Pot Still is a fine bourbon. It's not an exceptional bourbon. It's a fine bourbon in an exceptional bottle. That's why, like, Blanton's gets hype. Blanton's has an exceptional bottle. Blanton's is an exceptional bourbon. I mean, not like, you know, otherworldly, you know, unicorn tier, but it's an exceptional bourbon in an exceptional bottle. That's why it just hypes out of this world. Willet Pot Still is an exceptional bottle, and it's a fine bourbon. Like, it's okay. It's not to everybody's taste. Some folks may not like it, but it's, so you get this expectation that it is going to be, you know, phenomenal because it's a phenomenal bottle, and it's just okay. Like, it's expectation and then what you get out of it from reality, right? If somebody put something in a crappy bottle and you didn't expect anything from it, had a screw top, and you pour it and then you try it and it's pretty good, you'd be like, oh my God, this is pretty good value. This is a good bottle. I like this. But when you expect it to be like a unicorn and then you pour it and it's just fine, that just kind of sets your whole mood, even though it was the same bourbon, just packaged differently. All right, so I know I'm way behind. Appreciate it there, Sam. Good night. Bourbon Fest 2022 is July 9th this year, probably around the same time. I'll have to keep an eye out for it. Didn't know being the Lincoln. Well, if the Lincoln happens, I don't think I can go next week. Maybe that would be the only thing I can think, but I'm literally trying to go and get it Saturday and come back. Like, I'm trying to be back home by Monday. So if I go next week, I'll probably be by myself. I'm trying to take my wife, and one of my daughters wants to go. So we're trying to do that this weekend. But like, if it's next week, it'll be just me. So I may, but we'll see. I like Rare Breed Rye or 101 Rye. I tried the 101 Rye at the Bourbon Junkies thing. I did like that. I did like it. It tasted like a high rye bourbon, not like a solid rye. So like a legit year from now, understand. I feel like I need to move OGD 114 and Russell's 10 is the best I've found here. Hey, OGD 114 and Russell's 10 are good ones. I have not tried any new riff stuff yet. Buffalo Trace is amazing. New riff is dope. Okay. I get a lot of recommendations on new riff. I need to try it. I have them all, like, here, I'll grab them for you. I'll see if I can get them back here. I don't think y'all can't see them with this camera. Actually, I could probably do this. How about this? Let's get crazy. Watch this right here. Now, y'all got to pardon the mess, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and tell y'all, pardon the mess. Don't be, my room is a bit messy. We've been opening boxes and stuff. But we're going to try something a little crazy here. Let's see. Okay. So y'all see the teleprompter over there, right? And of course, y'all see my comments here. Over here, so we got barrels on the wall. Up there are all of the Blantons. That's BLANTONS. There's Bruce Pearl guarding them for me. So we got these guys up here. And then, of course, I built these shelves. I had the woodworker do the wood for me. And then, you know, we've got just a couple of bottles kind of hanging out up here. And I think that's that's actually the Old Fitz 8. I think the 17's in yonder. Some bottles there, a couple of bottles down here, just to kind of, and a little bobblehead collection. And, of course, some empty Old Fitzes down there. And then green screen set up over here, which is, I need to finish setting all of that up, right? I'm sure I'm echoing. I apologize. Here, hold on. Let me. All right. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me now? All right. Sorry. I apologize about the echo. I forget to turn off the other microphone when I use this one. It's got a microphone on it as well. Just not used to using this. A little TV. We can change out the logo. And then the green screen set up over here. And, of course, this is all like, it's got all the truss work and stuff. And then, you know, we got a little workstation over here that's all a mess, charging all my stuff. And, of course, the big mics and stuff if I want that. And y'all can see kind of the streaming rig over there. Again, kind of a mess at this point. But let's switch back to me here. All right. Sorry about the echo. I forget what the tools are here. So, yes, I've got all the toppers, but they're own bottles. I've got most of them. Every time I get a stopper, somebody grabs it. Like, and I don't really care. So, thank you. It's still not finished. I really just need to spend some time getting it all set up. Like, I don't want anything on the ground. And this desk was from the last studio at my last house, and I need to, you know, it needs to be a little different shape and stuff. So unfortunately it's still a little messy. And then we got the whole bar setup we're building in there, but it takes a lot of budget, and I got most of the equipment, but to do it like the way I want so that I can run the whole thing myself, just takes a little more equipment than what I have currently. So let me, again, I'm behind now. Appreciate it, Alan. Still here. Best $15 or less. Yeah, Wild Turkey 101. I don't think you can beat that for $15 or less. Dustin, thanks for showing up, man. I haven't had the limited release 2022. I think the one I've got is 2020, and I really liked it. It was good stuff, for sure. Haven't had Brothers Bond. Well, thank you, Lance. And like I said, sometime I'll take you in there, but that is a freaking hot mess in there right now. I'm not showing y'all that. I tore out a whole wall in there in that bar. There's like sheetrock dust all over the floor. It is a disaster. More of a whiskey fan, don't know anything about bourbon. Hey, you're still welcome to hang out. Pour a whiskey. We're gonna talk bourbon, but ask whiskey questions. I don't have answers, but I'll say something. Stump me. It's cool. You're more than welcome to hang out. Thank you, Devin. I mean, it is professional to a certain degree, right? Like it's, we got a couple of monitors and it's a little messy right now, a lot messier than I would like for it to be. But I just stole half of the equipment in there and put it in there in the bar to be able to shoot videos and stuff. And so I had it all nice and neat, and then we just kind of destroyed in here. But we gotta get it all cleaned back up. But I'm so much time working on the house and filming videos. Who has time to clean up at this point? Buffalo Trace store picks are usually a great bang for the buck. I agree with that, man. Agree with that. Sebastian. Well, what I've been told, it was amazing. Cost me $125. What did, Daniel? What did I miss? Oh, the limited release. Yeah, I haven't tried that one. So let me know what you think about it. Jordan's still here. Do I like yes, everything Jack Daniels except for Old Number 7 is actually really good. Am I a page behind like this? I don't think so. No, I'm not. Okay. That's why I'm here for the Bourbon Pro. Nice. Daniel, we're in North Carolina. Oh, okay. Where? Asking Daniel a question. After the review on Chattanooga Founders, I think I'll pop it open and take a pour. I tried it the other day. I'm going to give it a little longer. I tried it the other day, and it didn't get better. Like, I thought it had that flavor profile. Now, I may have to, get accustomed to the flavors, but it didn't get better for me. But it still had only been, less than a week. So, we're gonna try it. Is the Lincoln in the driveway? Dustin's just here. So, we were 4 minutes late because I was talking to the guy about the Lincoln. And, I was in Michigan. I was trying to look at it. I was trying to buy it. But the guy is, out of town, and he can't let me look at it. So, I've been trying to get in touch with him, and we've been debating it, and we finally decided last night, I'm just buying the Lincoln. So I contacted the guy this morning, and we go back and forth, and we've come to terms on a price. I made him an offer, and he's like, no. And I was like, no counter? What do you mean no? Give me a counter, give me something. And he's like, okay, here's my price. And he dropped it, $1,000. And I was like, okay, here's the logistics. I need to drive up to Michigan. I want to pick it up Saturday and drive it home. Will it make the road trip? Do you think it'll make the road trip? 800 miles home if I just rent a car and drive up there and pick it up. And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then I was like, okay, well, can I come get it Saturday morning? I just want to work out the logistics before I book travel. Dude disappears all afternoon. And then right while I was going live on TikTok, he texted me and was like, call me. So I called him in between the TikTok stream and this. And he's got two other folks he's supposedly in line in front of me. I'm like, I've been talking to you this about weeks. But we didn't come to terms on a price until today. So he's got two other folks that are in line in front of me, and they're supposed to let him know by tomorrow. So he said he will let me know by tomorrow afternoon if it's mine. I've agreed to buy it. He has agreed to sell it. I just got to make sure the other guys don't pick it up. So y'all make sure, y'all, I don't know what we do about making sure other folks don't buy my Lincoln. But if they don't buy it, I'm going to try to get to Michigan this weekend if I can. If not, maybe next week or so before I can pick it up. But he said he would work it out with me. If they don't take it and I can't get up this weekend, we'll work out holding it for a little bit. High Falls, Georgia. I'm just over the line a little bit there in Alabama. Old Tub's not on the shelf anymore. I have not noticed. I have to keep, that sucks because I was going to run some experiments on it. Drinking coffee since I have no alcohol at my college. That's probably for the best, man. Get your grades right, get your future right. Then once you're making bunches of money, then you can get lit. I have a Cooper's Craft. Yes, I have the cheap Cooper's Craft. It's not particularly special. I've tried some of their higher end stuff. I think the 100 proof. It was actually really good. I had it at a bar. It was actually really good. Don't confuse them with Blanchard's. All right. Gotta love Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I am trying to find a store to do some store picks, right? We've got the Patreon set up. We're going to drop it to our patrons first. and then we're gonna, start promoting our own store picks. So it won't be my own label, but I'm gonna do some store picks. But honestly, someday, if we can keep growing this audience and we can, get to where we can do our own label, that's like the dream, right? I don't know if we'll ever get to that point, but Lord, how much fun would that be? Where I actually design our own bottle and our own label and we source it. There's a distiller that lives across the road from me. Can we make our own? That takes 3 or 4 years to age, but that would be fun. Flaskets. All we can find is regular Cooper's Craft. The 100's good stuff. The regular stuff wasn't great. Problems with buying a Michigan. Okay, so this car spent almost all of its life in California. And he just moved it to Michigan a few years ago, and he's been storing it inside. So it is a California car. No rust whatsoever on this car. It's 96,000 original miles, absolutely no rust, pristine car. Couple little issues. Radio doesn't work, antenna doesn't go up and down, which could be because of the radio, and the air conditioning doesn't work. He said everything else on the car works. Now, it doesn't have cruise control, which sucks, but we can add an aftermarket cruise control, and it does not have a tilt column, which I would like, for adjustability. But otherwise, absolutely perfect car. I love everything about it. The bobbleheads. Ken, you're a little behind, man. Catch up. Everybody let Ken know in the chat he's behind if he's just seeing the bobbleheads. Weller products are very good. The 107's my favorite, too. You can't beat the 107. You argue with me. The 107 is the best Weller. It's better than CYPB. I haven't had single barrel, so you could argue that one. I think it's better than Foolproof, although it's close. I'll at least give you Foolproof if you take that. But if you say the 107 is behind the 12 or behind Special Reserve, and you could argue CYPB, but I don't know. I like the 107 best. It just, if I could build the perfect bourbon, if I could craft the perfect bourbon for TJ, it's 107. If I ever do my own label, I'm going to go to a distiller and I'm going to be like, can we just recreate Weller Antique 107 and put my label on it? Is that a thing we can do? Because I can get behind that. You want to see me hype something? Let's make something that tastes like Weller Antique 107 or anything similar. Can't have it on campus, but there's a lovely brewery nearby. Nice. Do the ABC stores allow what? Oh, allow the store picks. I mean, you have to buy it from them. So I'm going to have to find somebody in a different state. That's why it's so hard. I'm just in a state where there are no local anybody that can do that. So, hey, I appreciate it, country boy. Take it easy. So I got to find somebody in another state. Somebody was on one of my live streams and mentioned that they do this, and I checked them out, but I can't find them. So I got to find them. Lincoln, yeah, 1970 Lincoln Continental is what I'm trying to buy. So we'll see if it comes through. A coupe. I want a 2-door because it's the dumbest one. It is the full town car, not the little Mark 4s or Mark 5s. I want a freaking full-size town car in a coupe because it's just dumb, and I find them hilarious, and I love them. Appreciate it, Smokey. Thanks for hanging out with us. I have not tried Redemption, no. Haven't tried Redemption. Am I going to Bourbon Fest in Kentucky? Is that what we were talking about earlier? When is Bourbon Fest in Kentucky? I actually got recognized for the first time the other day. That was kind of fun. I went to a little car thing. I took my Super B out, and I went to a little car thing, and there was this dude there, and he was just staring at me, and and I'm like, I was like, what's this guy's problem? And the dude's like, I don't know him. And so he's just looking at me, and after about 30 minutes, I see him over there on his phone, and he's looking at me. And he's like, and he holds up one of our videos, and he's like, is this you? And I was like, yeah, that's me. He's like, man, I've been watching your videos. Apparently he had just moved here from Montana or something. And he's like, man, we used to watch these in Montana. I was like, well, that's pretty cool. So that's the first time that's happened. So, it'd be interesting to go to a Bourbon Fest now that we're putting out so much bourbon content. But let me know what it is. I don't know if that's the one they were saying is in July. What is an okay price for 107 on secondary? I see them for $100, $105 all the time. And they might have gone up a hair more, 110 shipped or something like that. That's at $100, that's a buy. If I see it in a store somewhere and I can buy it for 100 and take it home, I'm just going to do that. That's expensive for a bourbon, but I love them so much. That is a hell of a boat. You are absolutely right. When is the Kentucky's? You talking about the Kentucky Bourbon Festival? Yeah, 107. And I hear people just go in and buy it all, though. So it's still kind of hard to come by, even though there's a bunch of it sent to Ohio. 16th to 18th of what? What month, Dustin? What are we talking about? Is this a thing that's coming up pretty soon, like this month? Because I don't know if I'm going to make that. That's kind of a quick turnaround. Yeah, who's it ran by? Another good question. Sounds like you should look for one like you want. Are you talking about the car? Because the one I'm trying to buy is exactly the one I want. That's the problem. There is not a single nother Lincoln Continental for sale right now in the United States of America that I want, except for this one I'm trying to buy, which is why I'm trying to buy it. Now, I shouldn't have drug my feet. I should have been more aggressive when I was there and afterwards, but like I just had to work out some logistics. Had to work in Montgomery, found a Detling. The Detling I have is just the small batch Detling, and I don't love it. I haven't tried their cask strength stuff, so that may be fantastic. But the green label Detling, we got a video coming out. Detling's not going to love me after that one because it's just not great. It's a differently ran festival. Okay. For 120 on secondary? Yeah, you can find it on Facebook. I mean, I haven't looked in 4 or 5 months, but it used to be 100, 110. They keep ticking up, but I bet I could find it for 100, 110 on Facebook. My unicorn is a 64 Continental. Now, I love those. I do love those. Those are one of my favorites, and I said I would own one day. 63. I like the grill in the 60, 62, 63s. Those are beautiful. I love the suicide doors. For what I'm doing, though, like I'm looking for something to create content with and do road trips and stuff. The 70s cars are a little more comfortable, probably a little bigger, a little less gas mileage. But the four-door ones are really, really cool. They're just a little too formal for the vibe I'm going for on the content. Thoughts on old 155 sweet corn bourbon? Don't know. Don't know anything about it. Tell me about it. What is old 155 sweet corn bourbon? Just moved to Alabama from Orange Park. Nice. Kentucky is bourbon and beyond. It's a music festival. Okay, so it's not a bourbon festival. It's a music festival where you get lit while you're watching people perform. Is that what we're doing here? I don't know. Like I watched some Justified, but I only watched like the first year or so. Let's look at Justified. I bet his is 60s. I'm gonna bet his. Oh no. You talking about like more of a modern, like a 90s or 2000s Lincoln. No, we're talking about a 1970 Lincoln Continental. We talking big boy. No. Much older than that. Justified. What I watched that was good. I really want to go back and finish it. 68 Dodge Charger, one of my favorites as well. Dukes of Hazzard style, body style for those that don't know. I've got a buddy here that's got one, a yellow one. It's a really cool car. 69, I got you. I always liked like the 70s, like the square back, fastback Chargers, just because nobody loved those for so long. Like you could buy them pretty cheap. I wished I had because now they're starting to go up in value. I think that those were before. Those were the early 60s with the fastback. That's what I'm thinking about. Sorry. Only one from California. It's 7:30 in California. Everybody may not started drinking yet. Big car for a big guy. There you go. I've got a little bitty Volkswagen out there now. That's fun to see me drive around in. We demo derbies, the new Lincolns. Yeah, I wouldn't drive a Lincoln like that. I mean, I wouldn't hate on it, but I wouldn't buy one. I'd drive it. I would not pay money for it, for sure. All right, 9:30. We're going to go another 28 minutes or so, I think, hanging out. We still got a pretty active chat. As long as the chat, heck, we still got 45 people watching this mess. Lord have mercy. That's awesome. 69 Boss. My aunt growing up had a Boss. Hers was, I want to say it was a 70 Boss. Let me look, though. Hers was after they got less cool and they had the really long front end. No, not a 70. You know what? hers might have been a Mach 1. Hers might have been a Mach 1, but it was on into the 70s. Yeah, so I'm may have been a Mach 1. Ooh, okay, wasn't a 74. That's ugly. 70, I think hers was about a 73. I think that's what it was. It was blue and white, 73. I want to say it might have been a Mach 1. It was a Mach 1 or a Boss or something. Like, she had a nice car. It was a nice Mustang. I remember my brother throwing a rock through the rear glass window or something, like, just very dumbly. Yeah, it was like a grabber blue 73 Mach 1 Mustang is what it was. Some fun stuff. 74 Charger. Yeah, not a 74 Charger. 74, like, those were boats, weren't they? I like those still, though. Like, look at a 74 Charger. But I'm more thinking about, like, is it a 65? Yeah, 65 Charger. That's what I was thinking about, the earlier ones. So what's everybody drinking? Give me an update on your pours right now. I think I may have ended up blending these two while I was running my trap. 62 Buick LeSabre, 401 Wildcat. Nice. Those are fun. My mother had an Oldsmobile Delta 88 when I was a kid, and that car was beautiful. Soft yellow, you know, had the pillow top seats in it. It was a boat. And when I got old enough to drive, I'd take that thing and we would hit the highway and you would not feel a single bump. Maybe the reason I want this Lincoln Continental, honestly. The Deltas are just not quite as cool as the Lincolns. Sebastian's got ancient age. Excellent pour. 71 Custom C10 Chevrolet. Oh, that's a 71's the square body. No, 71 wasn't the square body. 71's the little round nose. Yeah, I've got a 72 F100 myself. Love it a lot. JD Triple Mash is a good one. EC Toasted, Bottle and Bond 12. Y'all are drinking some excellent pours, man. It make me want to change it up a little bit. ALW. Sunfire. I used to give my brother-in-law a hard time. He had this thing for, like, Chrysler LeBarons. I don't know why. He had a Dodge Shadow, which is very Chrysler LeBaron-esque. And he just had this thing. Every time we'd see a Chrysler LeBaron, he's like, there's a Chrysler LeBaron. So we used to go to, like, a junkyard. There'd be a Chrysler LeBaron. He's like, oh, there's a LeBaron. Let me go look at this LeBaron. That's how I used to give him a hard time about him. Yeah, Sunfire probably was. Overrated and underrated bourbon. So the most overrated bourbon is tough. What's a bottle that I got that I just didn't care for that was really highly sought after? If you're talking like recently, the 5 stouted malted mash, God knows what from Woodford Reserve was awful. Didn't like that. But I don't like malt. So that's where we learned I don't like malt. If I'm looking on, I'm trying to like mentally picture my shelf in there because I'm trying to remember all of those bottles, which ones was just overhyped. For me, probably the bottle that's worth the most money that I like the least is Thomas Handy Sazerac Rye. And it's not that it's bad. I just don't love Sazerac's rye. Like, I just don't love, like, the normal Sazerac rye is not good. So why would an older one be good? But, you know, Pappy's is just nuts. Like, Pappy's 23. I've had the 22. It's wooded. It's not better than the 15. So for it to go for that much more, crazy. Underrated? Underrated. I don't know. Like, most bourbons that are good they're pretty highly freaking sought after. Trying to picture my shelf in there again to see, like, what are people sleeping on that I absolutely love? Hell, I think Weller Antique 107's underrated. Like, if you're going to pay $400 for a Weller Foolproof and Antique 107's $100, that's nuts. So I don't know. I'm really bad at these games, apparently. That's what it boils down. I'm really bad at these games. Because everything's either good or it's not good. Like, that's just the scale. Like, it's great, it's good, it's not good. So what's overrated and underrated, I don't know. Cooper's Craft 100, best value. I mean, the best value in bourbon is going to be, it'd have to be that Wild Turkey 101 or that Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. Like, those have to be the best values to me in bourbon. Like $17, $25 here. Like, those are exceptional. Rare breed for that price is just freaking nuts. This day and age, with what whiskey goes for, like, those are just crazy prices. But, you know, a lot of these, like, I don't know, a lot of these bottles are huge secondary values, but they're low MSRPs. Can't afford Elmer T. Lee. I understand that. Blue Note 4, 69 Pontiac GTO the Judge. Oh, wow, that's a good one. A guy here used to own a white Judge. Not in great shape, sat out in front of his house, but I always wanted it. He didn't want to sell it. I think he finally passed away and his family sold it, though. Elmer T. Lee's super hard to find everywhere, Lance, everywhere. Got more into trucks. My pours a Bottle Kill on Sazerac Rye. Oh, yeah. That's Darren. We're on the same page. I didn't see your comment when I mentioned that. Dream car would be a Volvo P1800 Resto Mod. Let me look up this P. Is that the old school Volvo with the split grille? No, that's the little Rhodes. Ooh, that's a good looking car. And the one I'm looking at here is a Resto Mod. That's gorgeous, man. Do that. How much do those cost these days? Did those get shipped to the U.S.? I don't know if I've ever really paid attention to one of those before. That's beautiful. Oh, like factory, they're really ugly. But Resto Modded, like, that's a good transformation. Wow. It was interesting. Had like a chocolate coffee note. Dude, I just can't get over the malt, though, Devin. Can't get over the malt. Pretty much every Weller product I've had is overrated. All right, Ben. I mean, I respect your opinion, but I'm just going to let you know to not take my advice on anything. Okay? Don't take any of my advice. And so they are super hyped. They are super hyped. Like Special Reserve, Weller 12. That is the most overhyped bourbon in the world, probably. Or Elmer T. Lee. Who mentioned that? Elmer T. Lee. I did a video on that. Like, that one should have come to mind. Elmer T. Lee is probably my biggest disappointment. And it wasn't that it was bad. It just wasn't special. It's just fine. Like, honestly, I don't know if I like it any better than Ancient Age. I don't know if I like it as good as some of the benchmark stuff. I definitely didn't like it more than a Blanton's. And it's just like crazy hyped. So y'all bringing, I've repressed those memories and y'all bringing them to the forefront. They haven't tried a lot of Japanese whiskeys there, C's. Didn't know enough about whiskey to buy it. That's what's funny about a lot of these folks that are complaining. I used to be able to get Pappy's on the shelf. You didn't know what Pappy's was when you could get it on the shelf. You may have bought it once, not knowing what it is, or like I had a picture of Santa Claus on it, so you took it. You know, like that's a lot of these folks, though. I remember back in my day, Blanton's was everywhere. Yeah, and you wasn't drinking it. You were drinking Maker's Mark. Mountain Dew mixed with Miller Lite? T-Bone. You lost me there, man. You lost me there. Ancient 10 Star is really good for the money, for sure. What state are you? I'm in Alabama. 70 SS Chevelle 454. My half-brother, we have the same mother, different father. His dad, when he was growing up, had a 70 SS Chevelle 454, red with the black stripes and the whole deal. Man, that was an awesome car. So I'm a little biased on the price, but if it's cheap for you, try it. Exactly. If it's cheap for you, try it. I like that. I like the way you put that. Oh, Granddad 114, Brendan. Hey, Brendan he's spreading the gospel here. I like Maker's Mark for cooking. We buy so many bottles. I usually have, if my wife's like, I need a bottle for cooking, well, she never does. I'll use a bottle for cooking. We'll get rid of something. So I don't ever have like one go-to for cooking. We're always just trying a bunch. Lopez in the house. What's going on? Not a fan of drinking Maker's Mark. A lot of the limited, like Maker's Mark wood finishing series and stuff are delicious. Like, those are great. What's the best coffee? I don't drink coffee. I couldn't tell you. A bunch of water before you go to bed. Yeah, cheers to all the folks in the chat, man. We have had still got 53 people in here. That's awesome. We're starting to grow this live stream a little bit. How can I make this? Y'all give me suggestions on how I can make this more entertaining and more fun. We want to continue growing these and get more regular and do these more often. But, you know, do y'all just like hanging out and talking, or should we do something? We're going to do some giveaways and things here coming up. We're going to probably have a trivia night. We may do that Wednesday. We may do another night where we give away some you know, gift cards to a liquor store, online liquor stores, and things like that. So we're going to be doing some stuff like that. But I'm always looking for ideas on, you know, if y'all like this, just kind of hanging out and talking, that's cool too. Appreciate it, Banks. I've not tried blackened yet. It's a gimmick we're going to. That's on the list. I just haven't tried it yet. But it's on my list. Would have hoarded all the whiskey? Yeah. That would be better than, like, what would I have bought if I could go back? Bitcoin and Pappy's. I just bought it all. Yeah, Rock Hill Farms on the secondary market is like $400-ish. MSRP at $60. Not a big fan of Wheaters? Okay. Yeah, the price is nuts. I'm with you there. The price is nuts on most of that stuff, but I love Wheaters. North Dakota in the house. How is it in North Dakota? What's the weather like in North Dakota right now? Well, thank you, Smokey, and I appreciate you moving over from the TikTok. I know that's kind of a pain for a lot of folks, but... so I threw an... let's try it. Let's try it. I'm going to go grab it. Y'all give me 1 second. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm going to go grab the bottle of Old Tub we were playing with. I'm coming. All right, so... we took a bottle of Old Tub and we had some fun with it. So I bought an air still. I bought an air still, which is just a little still. You just pour whiskey in there, or pour a mash in there. You plug it in and it distills it out. So we poured a bottle of Old Tub in there. Of course, if I'd have known they pulled it off the shelf that I found out tonight, I might have held on to it. But we put a bottle of Old Tub in there and we distilled the whiskey out. And according to a little refractometer I had, it was like, I don't know, 160 proof or so. And then I took it, and it's just sugar. Like, it's sweet. It doesn't drink like it's that high a proof. So I'm not sure how accurate that thing is. But I just threw an oak spire. It looks like I've just got a floater, like we just dropped a turd in there or something. But I've put an oak spire in there to try to age it. So this was perfectly clear white dog. It wasn't really white dog. It doesn't have that yeasty, you know, new make. It was, you know, it's good aged whiskey. But I took it out and I put it in here, and then I put this oak spire in it. Now the stuff that was left in the still was ruined. It just tastes like rust. So nothing we could do with that. And what I'm thinking about doing, what I was thinking about doing tonight is I was actually going to take a bottle of Eagle Rare and distill the whiskey out of it. So this is what I'm thinking about doing. Now y'all keep this between us. Don't go telling anybody, okay? But if I go to Michigan to get the Lincoln, I was going to take a bottle of Eagle Rare and I was going to distill the whiskey out of it. And then I was going to blend that whiskey back with a bottle of Eagle Rare to try to make it 100+ proof. So try to get like 100 to 110 proof Eagle Rare. And then I'm going to put it in a decanter and I was going to take it to the bourbon junkies and get them to do a review. Or maybe a pour guesses or something to see if they could figure out, like, just get their thoughts on it, and then record all of that for a video. So record the whole going, getting the Lincoln, driving to them, taking them this bottle, like we're on a mission, but it's got to turn out good. So I got to try it, and then it's got to turn out good. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to distill out that Eagle Rare, try to make it, see if it turns out good, and then if it does, I'm going to take it to them. So it's got to be good though. Like, I'm not trying to give them something disgusting. I'm trying to make something even better than the original and then see what comes of it. But I was hoping to try to get some more flavor in there. Like, I want the flavor more impactful, but you don't get that if you just add more alcohol. So, don't know. All right, let me catch up with the stream here. Let's see. It's great to hang out. Had to pour Rock Hill Farms in a bar in Kentucky last week. It was good, but 45 for a pour is kind of steep. Yes, sir. It's humid and also from TikTok. Well, thank you, Jerry, for making the way over. Worked in Williston. Okay. Spent years in Monroe. A lot of folks been up that way, apparently. Wyoming whiskey makes a great weeder. I have to try that out. Redwood Empire. Which one? The Lost Monarch's really good. Doing great, just hanging out and talking. Okay. Have a bottle you kind of talk us through to expand our knowledge. Okay. So basically do like a bourbon review and talk about it and then talk about some different stuff. That's kind of interesting. I like that idea. Japanese whiskey is how little info is required to pass on to the consumer. Yeah, it's just like, hey, we got some whiskey. Here it is. It did pick up, like literally I dropped it in there last night. And it's got, like, we're going to have to filter it. It's got floaters. Like, it's got little charred bits that have come off of it, so we're most definitely going to have to filter it. Thoughts on White Dog? I keep some just for fun. So I got some little Buffalo Trace White Dogs, and I use them. So I like wheated mash bill. I'll pour somebody a little taste of that and say, oh, this is what it tastes like when they make it. And then they put it in a barrel, and here's Weller Antique 107, and you can taste the difference. That's fun. If you're going to do your own aging, that could be cool. So that would be fun. So I like it for that. Like, it's just an experiment. If you're going to try to drink it, it's not good. Choose a spirit that's the topic of the stream. Discuss personal favorites, new bottles, new cocktails. Okay. I like it. And so we can do that while we're chatting, though, right? Like, we can do, I'm going to try to build the stream in there. It's going to take me months to get the stream moved to the bar. So we've got this production quality, but in the bar, it's going to take me months because I got to come up with some budget to buy. I can't take this equipment down, and I need it in there. So I got to buy new equipment for in there. But we're going to build so we can sit there and do mixed drinks and have multiple cameras, and like I can show an above shot or close-up shot, or we can do all sorts of cool things. That would be fun. I like the ideas, though. Love to try to get a higher proof Eagle Rare. That's what I'm thinking, Devin. I just don't know if just like distilling the alcohol out, because the alcohol has a little bit of the flavor. If adding that in is going to make it better. It might make it a little better, but I want it to be more concentrated. So we tried taking what was left in the still, but it was terrible. So I tried today different experiments, boiling, doing different stuff. But anytime you add heat to it, it just ruins it. So can't really get the flavor except for what comes out in the alcohol. Yeah, Cheech, if y'all are not subscribed to Cheech has an excellent stream. It's a late night stream, but like to watch blinds. We'll start doing blinds. We used to do a lot of blinds on TikTok, so we're probably going to start doing more here. That would be fun. That would be really fun. Ooh, Jerry, a good bottle to drink to get a girl off your mind. Here's the problem with alcohol, my friend. Alcohol is a depressant. Alcohol does not improve your state of mind or your mood. Alcohol enhances or accelerates whatever mood you're already in. So if you're down, more alcohol just going to make you more down, unfortunately. But any whiskey will get her off your mind, I guess, or at least get you thinking less. At least her picture won't be quite as clear. So sorry to hear about that. You know, hopefully y'all work things out. Or if you don't work things out, there's another one out there, man. I know it always seems like there's not, but it wasn't. Sometimes things are just not meant to be, man. And when things don't work out, even if you wanted them to work out, happens to me all the time. Not with girls, because I've been married forever, but something I really want to work out, like this Lincoln I'm trying to buy. If it doesn't work out, it just means that I now have the funds available to find the right one, and that wasn't the right one for me. A better thing comes along that is the better fit for me. So, gonna make you text her. Yeah, there you go. You gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. If you had to pick one bottle you could only drink for the rest of your life, if I could just pick any bottle, William LaRue Weller. That's the one. Done. I mean, heck, if that bottle were, if it were just MSRP, that's all I would drink for sure. I would not be doing bourbon content. Every video would be like, let me show you my William LaRue Weller. I mean, I'm not telling you to just go find another girl. Like, you know, do your grieving and go through your process. And sometimes maybe it's better to be by yourself and reflect and all of those things. You know, Dr. Brewzle kicking in here, I guess. You know, I don't come on these streams to give relationship advice, but things are going to get better, man. Things are going to work out. Pick a random subscriber to be a guest, and we are set up. I've got to do some work, but we are set up to pull folks in. Now, this I can't pull in folks like Cheech does, where it's just like pulling 100 folks, but I could add a couple of guests pretty easy. Rob is back. William LaRue Weller. It's a Buffalo Trace Antique Collection bottle. Try making cocktails. Yeah. Well, of course, cocktails are bad. Like I get just way over the top with cocktails. I start making old fashions because if I pour, like I'll pour an ounce. I pour about an ounce pour in here, maybe a little more sometimes, and I'll sip on it and it'll take a while. I'll put 2 ounces in an old fashioned and I'll drink it like it's water. And so I just, next thing you know, I've had like 8-10 ounces in a very short time frame. Yeah, of course, I've only seen one, and that was luck. I got it in a lottery. So it's, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I didn't say I would pay $2,000 for it. I do have a Patreon, Bacon. We've signed, it should be, I don't know if the link is in the description here. I think the link may be in the description, but patreon.com/Brewzle. We just got that set up recently, and any help is greatly appreciated. There's only one thing that I promise you. I will take every money we make from Patreon donations, and I will spend them in the most reckless way possible. We will do lots and lots of dumb things with them. I won't save it. We won't hoard it. We might buy a yacht. I don't know. We'd have to get a lot of them, but we will buy dumb bottles and we will do dumb experiments, and we will have a lot of fun creating great content for y'all. I haven't seen that yet. I literally wrote it down, but I have not seen that yet. Some of these bourbons are insulated by mixing in cocktail. Oh yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right. Never had an old fashioned. So an old fashioned depends. Like mine is, I like to use Demerara, but it's simple. The simplest ingredients are basically a simple syrup. So sugar, you can use a sugar cube, but a simple syrup, a bourbon or a rye, some bitters, so a couple of dashes of bitters, and then typically an orange peel. Like that's pretty much it. Mine, I use a Demerara syrup, which is like a gum syrup for my simple. I use a bourbon, sometimes a rye, a couple of dashes of bitters, an orange peel if I have it. If I don't have an orange peel, I'll use orange bitters. And then I like a little cherry syrup from like a Luxardo cherry and a cherry in it. Thank you, Cheech. I appreciate it. T-Bone's going to come to my place and drink my bourbon. Hey, man, you know, if we hang out enough and I find out you're not a psycho and you're not going to, like, murder us or, you know, something like that, then I don't mind folks coming over. It's just, you know, meeting folks online and not really knowing them. I'm pretty reckless. I will just be like, hey, come on, let's do it. My wife, a little more conservative. She's like, how much do you know this person? Are they going to murder us? Are they going to, you know, steal all of our stuff? Like, I don't, you know, do we need to lock the bathrooms? Like, what do we need to do? Dumb things make for great stories. Exactly. What's going on, Tyler? Estimated guesses of how many bottles. Right now, opened on the bar is roughly 200. I don't know how many unopened. Almost all my unopened are just backups of stuff I already have. So I would say 30 or 40. I've really been getting rid of a lot of bottles. I had quite a few more of that, but I've been not buying new bottles, and folks have been asking, and I've been giving them away and stuff. You know, to friends that, you know, want them, and, you know, they'll send me bottles and I'll send them some back kind of thing. So I think I'm down to, you know, 220, 230, something like that. But we're about to start getting a lot more as we ramp up content. Like I'm buying more bottles than ever right now, and we're not drinking them. Rye is traditionally used for an old fashioned. You say that, but I did one today, and it was a recipe from 1935, and it just called for whiskey. So, you know, it's a recipe book from 1935. Like, we shot that video today. Just called for whiskey, didn't call for a rye. So, I think most people would do a rye. So I get what you're saying, but You know, that recipe, and that's about as old as it gets. I mean, right after Prohibition, at least as far as like books go on the subject. Do you watch the channel How to Drink? Yes, I love How to Drink. One of my favorite channels. He reminds me very much of somebody I know in real life, and so I appreciate that association. But I enjoy his content very much. My favorite bottle, yes, William LaRue Weller is my absolute tops favorite bottle ever. But that's a unicorn bottle you'll never get. Weller Antique 107 is my more regular go-to that's kind of similar. Not as good, but similar. Get a boat, then christen it with a bourbon bottle. We call it bourbon. So we got to come up with a cool name for a boat. I don't need a boat. Do I like smoked old fashioned? I don't normally smoke mine, but sometimes, yeah, I appreciate them. It's just an extra step, and I don't feel like it makes it any better. Makes a difference. Every once in a while, I'll do it. If I have folks over, I'll do it for show, just to add effect. But it's just for the show, right? Have you tried Buffalo Trace? Of course, yeah, I love Buffalo Trace. This is actually made by Buffalo Trace right here. Just pour my nightcap of Owa 107 salty. I appreciate it, man. To you. Around 115, 130 open for me and 20 to 30 unopened. It's a problem, you know, it's a problem. Cold fashioned? I haven't tried this. I haven't heard of this. 1935 Overholt Rye was one of the most common whiskeys. It sounds, I mean, you know, if it just calls for whiskey in the recipe, you can use what you want. But a lot of these recipes in this book say rye or bourbon. This one just said whiskey. And maybe that's the thing, but I don't know why some of the recipes said rye and some of them didn't. I don't know. Used to run moonshine and whiskey. I mean, I'm from the South. I think pretty much everybody's family did back then. Buffalo Trace is a pretty good bourbon. Yeah, Lance, that's a good call. I like Buffalo Trace. Saw an old recipe. Yeah, this one called for orange. So it was a, what it called for was Curacao. Now it said 2 dashes. Curacao doesn't come in something I could dash. So I poured a little Curacao in there. And then it called for a slice of orange, and then a slice of lemon peel, and then a cube of sugar, and 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, and then you muddle all that together. And then you pour a glass, which is 2 ounces, of whiskey into this mixture. No ice, don't stir it, just muddle all that crap together, pour your whiskey on top of it, which it didn't blend at all. Like I ended up just having to stir it together to make it good. And it was good. It would have been better over ice. And it was wasn't very much to drink. So that was kind of the recipe. It was kind of weird, but I liked it. Bust out another 1,000 a boat. Yes. I'd just sink it. I'd do something stupid. I'd sink it. What is, honest to God, most hated bottle you've ever tried? I mean, Blanton's gets a ton of hate, but it's not because it's not good. Willet Pot Still gets a ton of hate. There are some really bad bottles out there. You know, Malort and stuff like that are not really bourbon that, you know, a lot of folks do as memes just because it's so bad. That kind of thing, right? Depends on the wood. That's true. That's true. Depends on the wood for the smoking. Yeah, I'm sure my wife's watching at this point, so I probably got in trouble for just saying how many. Got to try moonshine from Tickle. Apple pie flavored water. Hit you with the 48% a minute later. Bubble Bath. What's going on, Bubble Bath? I appreciate you jumping over here. I'm a little behind, so I gotta look over here when I get behind. 15 open, 25 unopened. I mean, it's smart numbers, Kyle. That's smart numbers. We are the sad ones, and you are the one that's got a more manageable collection. We gotta like build whole rooms for this crap, and you could put yours in a nice little cabinet somewhere. You're much smarter. Johnny Smoking Gun. I haven't tried that. I haven't tried Malort yet, but Dolphin, been really loving your channel lately. Just picked up some Maker's Mark 101. Nice. I like Maker's. That's good stuff. Cloud Grabber. Smash a bottle of Foolproof to christen it. We'll call it the lawnmower and just, See if it'll run on Weller Foolproof. Is that what we should do? We should just take it and keep buying motor vehicles until we find one that'll run on Weller Foolproof? All right, I'm trying to catch you. How do I get my dad to try anything other than Canadian Hunter? I mean, if he don't want to try it, there ain't nothing you can do. You're not going to hold him down and beat him. Just what you need to do is just tell him how good something is and then just get him to try it. Willet Pot Still on it. That's what I was trying to say earlier. It gets a ton of hate, but it's just like a great bottle with an okay whiskey, and so that's why it gets so much hate. But it's not bad. Blue Run was polarizing for a few minutes. I think it was the price on Blue Run that was polarizing at the start. Worst bourbon I've had is the Kentucky Owl Confiscated. I wouldn't say it's the worst one, but I didn't like it. Mark Emmenecker in the chat, man. I appreciate y'all joining. We were just about to call it here in just a minute, but Malort, see, I haven't tried Malort. We want to do it for a video. So I've had a few chances to try it, and I've passed on it because I want to try it for a video. Whiskey blended with puree, and some other funky teas. Interesting. That doesn't sound interesting. I hate George Dickel. I hate everything about George Dickel. Don't like it. Yeah, don't like it at all. I bought a bottle of 15-year George Dickel. I was like, this is going to be the best. Somebody's like, oh, it doesn't have that funky George Dickel taste to it. I tried it. I gave it away. It was bad. I bought a 15-year Widow Jane. It had too much George Dickel. I can handle the 10. I like the Dickel in there is blended pretty well. The 13, I couldn't tell had George Dickel in it at all from Widow Jane. But like the 15, awful. Got rid of it. You talking about a Whistle Pig, Glenn? Got a bottle of Horse Soldier if you have to crack it open. I mean, I've heard some okay things about Horse Soldier, but I don't know which one and what, right? I have not tried Bison Ridge, no. It makes my Lord sound good. There's some awful stuff out there. And it's still out there. That's what drives me crazy. When you see something that's just obviously bad, how do they keep making it? Who's buying this crap? If nobody ever bought it, they would have to quit making it. So who keeps buying this crap? Jack Daniel's honey? Hey, nothing wrong with Jack Daniel's honey. I preferred the Wild Turkey American honey. I just like the notes on it a little better when I was drinking that type of stuff more regularly. But nothing wrong with Jack Daniel's. George Dickel 8-year? Nah, I can't do it. I've never tried it, and I'm not going to. Unless somebody hands me a pour, I'll try it, but I'm never buying a bottle. It's a genetic thing, like the people who thinks, see, I don't like cilantro. I don't like cilantro. Yeah, so I have a very sensitive palate, and so I don't like things that have extremely dominant flavors, because when it has a dominant flavor, that's all I taste. So I horseradish, raw onions, like it was cooked onion, fine, but raw onions, cilantro, and George Dickel just dominate, and I hate them. Hate them. What's Whistle Pig? Whistle Pig's a rye. Some of them are good, some of them not so good. But Whistle Pig makes some pretty good stuff, too. Mixing Malort with the Candy Super Sour. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Malort isn't that bad. Growing up in Sweden, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Oh, I probably should. Bronoven? Is that right? Bronoven? Dickel is not good. See, Rob's with me. Me and Rob are on the same page here. IW Harbor 15? I don't know. I haven't tried it. 9 and 15 are great. I think my 15 may have been a pick. I didn't like it. Aged it for a month and then strained it. That sounds like a hospital visit. It's what that sounds like. Schoonover 14 maple smoked whiskey. Mineral. Yeah, it's that mineral taste. Like, it's just not good. It's like you just put a bunch of Flintstone vitamins into your whiskey. Like I took my old tub and I put my aging stick in here and some Flintstone vitamins, and that's what it tastes like. George Dickel. Dill. Yeah, exactly. I buy good lawnmower to start. I buy good bourbon to start lawnmowers. So I don't know. Maybe they are trying to jumpstart their mowers. Let's try this old tub experiment here. So for those that maybe have joined since we since we talked about this a minute ago. Yesterday, I took this bottle and I distilled all the whiskey out of it. And I poured it in here, and it was perfectly clear and sweet and you know, interesting, but it took a lot of the flavor out of it. And I put an aging stick in here. So this aging stick, this is just like one of those spirals. Dropped it in here, and it's been sitting in here for a little over 24 hours. Probably about maybe 27, 28 hours at this point. So I'm curious now. Let's give this a little swirl. It's definitely got some floaters. We'll try our best to avoid those. But I'm interested to see. It added a lot of color for just one day. But I'm interested to see what the flavor is on it. And and this is really, really high proof. I did not water this down at all. So this is like nuclear. I want to say this was like freaking 160 proof or something that came out of that still. And I've got just like this refractor where you put alcohol on it and it tells you it was off its scale. But I don't know how accurate it is. Like when I tasted it yesterday, it didn't taste that high, right? It's hot. Like Paris Hilton. It's definitely added a little more flavors. The flavors that it added are not good flavors. It has not added pleasant flavors. You're starting to get a little oakiness, but it's almost like just kind of like a damp, musty oakiness. Like not anything. This is not as good as the old tub. And I probably should water it down and put some distilled water or something in here. Yeah, I think we just ruined the bottle of old tub, but we'll see. We're going to leave it in there a little longer. But I definitely need to water that down. It's hot. I don't know how hot it is, but it's freaking hot. That is for sure. Okay. That's how you pronounce. Good night, everybody who's leaving. Lance, I appreciate you hanging out. Red man chewing tobacco. Oh man, whew. That stuff. It's not hot on the taste, but it is hot on the going down your gut. You know, you gusset here. Usually a beer guy, but I'd like to get into whiskey. Just try some variety. That's all it takes. Now, get yourself a good glass. You're going to start drinking over ice or in mixed drinks and then kind of work your way up. Like, I don't recommend you just start drinking whiskey straight. Definitely don't drink something with that kind of proof on it unless you know what you're doing, because you're not going to like it, right? You just kind of got to work your way into it. Eat the floaters. I mean, it already looks terrible. Like, look at this. I don't know if y'all can see this. This looks like, we know what it looks like. We know what it looks like. I don't even have to say it. My kids may be listening. I don't know. What's an aging stick? So it's an oak spire. So there's several. We're going to run some aging experiments on whiskey. We're trying to say, can you take a whiskey that's cheap or maybe it's not that good and then make it better? What can you do? And this was one of them. So I bought an extra one. And it's just a piece of oak that they have charred. So when you age whiskey, it goes into a barrel. The inside of that barrel is charred oak. And so that whiskey will set in a rick house, in a warehouse, and as it heats up, it'll pull that whiskey into the oak. And as it cools down, it'll push that whiskey out. And over time, that adds flavor to the whiskey. Now, normally it's a huge barrel, and it takes years to do that. And if it's in a really hot climate where it gets super hot and stays super hot, like a Texas whiskey, you can get you get a lot of flavor really quick. In Kentucky, it takes 3 or 4 years plus to really get that flavor. Well, these are like rapid aging. So you can get a smaller barrel that takes less time. So I bought a smaller barrel. It's in there soaking in water right now. So I've got a small barrel. We got some of these oak spires. And I'm trying to figure out, I'm thinking about taking ancient age, just like not ancient age, like ancient age, and see if we can put it in a barrel, put it in some oak spires, like just do 3 or 4 different ways of trying to rapidly age it and see if we can make it any better and how long. So basically I do it and then I'll pour a sample out maybe the first day, the first week, the first month, and just see what they taste like, and then, you know, get some samples to folks and just, you know, try to create some content off of it. So this is just charred oak like you would see in the inside of a barrel. But as far as like surface ratio to whiskey, this is much more surface area than a barrel, so it's going to age it a lot faster. But like it adds oak flavor, but the maturity and the complexity of the whiskey comes from the time that it's spent in that barrel and not just from the oak. So this makes it oakier, doesn't necessarily make it better. Mr. Salty, we still got 50 folks in here. That's crazy, man. I appreciate all y'all hanging out. That's awesome. It is great, Kyle. It is great. Like we've just really started streaming. Was this the third or fourth stream over here on YouTube? So we're still kind of new to the YouTube stream. So it's great. 50 folks is, wow, that's awesome. I appreciate it. We need the watch time. I may just keep going until everybody quits watching for the watch time. Which of the Penelope line do you think is the best? The only ones I've had is the Architect and the Barrel Strength. And both of those are excellent. I would have to like back to back them. I probably liked the Barrel Strength best, but that may be just because that was that first thing I had from Penelope I really liked. I don't even know what bottles are out this fall. I tend to just meander through life, and when I bump into a bottle I really want, I get it. Like that's kind of, you know, I'm not usually out looking for something in particular unless there's a need for it for content. So I don't even know what I'm looking. I'm still looking for stuff from the last 2 years. I'm still looking for a Coy Hill. Like, Lord, I'm still looking for Old Fitz 13. So I'm living in the past at this point. I don't even know what's coming out. I mean, the normal yearly releases, Old Forester birthday bourbons and stuff like that. Of course, I want all of those. BTAC stuff. Of course, I want all of those. But for a few weeks, well, we're going to leave that one in there for a few weeks. We're going to have to water this whiskey down, but I'm going to age it foolproof and then see what happens when I water it down. I don't drink Scotch, Mortem, so I don't drink Glenfiddich. I just pretty much bourbon for me. I'm going to do some more Scotch stuff, but I just haven't tried a bunch of it. All natural bottle in behind non-chill filtered 100 proof. Yeah, like I said, we distilled all the whiskey out. And so I bought like 4 of these bottles for experiments over a year ago. And I was going to pour one in a barrel, and I went to pour it in a barrel, and the barrel had a crack in it that I didn't notice, and it all leaked out into my studio floor, the last studio. And so that whole studio smelled like old tub for like a month. And so I just kind of stopped that series because I needed to get another barrel, and I never got one. And then we started moving over here. So I just got a smaller barrel that like literally fits 1 liter. My other barrel is like a bigger one. So I got one that just fits 1 liter. So I feel like we had a couple of bottles of Old Tub, we would try them out. Beer of choice. Like I said, my normal go-to, football season coming up this weekend, if I end up not going to Michigan, I'm going to be drinking Coors Banquets and watching the game. I do love a good brown ale, and there's quite a few good ones out there. Cigar City Maduro is probably one of my faves right now. If I go too long, you won't make it to work. Man, I apologize. How are we looking on watch? Let's see if I don't even know if this thing tells me. So the fact that our average view duration is 16 minutes and 43 seconds, and we still got 50 folks, means a lot of folks are just joining and coming and going, which is great. I don't know what my watch time is on this thing, though. I don't know. Doesn't matter. This is so fun, though. I'm really not just milking it for views. This is a lot of fun. What's going on, everyday drinker? How are you doing? Whistle Pig Piggyback. I don't think I've had Piggyback. Had much better rise than that, I'll bet. T-Bone, take it easy. I appreciate you hanging out. War Eagle. Old Tub is genuinely impressive how they could make that amount of peanut butter flavor without adding flavorings. Well, it is definitely, of course, Jim Beam stuff is kind of nutty anyway. Have to try the 10-year. Yeah, you talking about the Whistle Pig? Yeah, definitely better. Banquets are filling. They are filling, but I'm a big boy. But those, like, they're $1 for the 16-ounce cans at Kroger. 16 ounces for $1, man, I'll take that. Never said it was a bad thing. 6-year aged rye? What's a 6-year aged rye? Oh, you're talking about the piggyback. Okay. You should have your TikTok stream going as well so more people can discover the channel. I mean, we may. I'm thinking about, like, the problem is I want to address them too, right? So I may do like a behind the scenes, like set it up to where it's showing this scene and then a sign or a notice or something on it that says, hey, we're live on YouTube. But I don't know, like TikTok may get mad at us for that kind of thing. Not real sure. But we may do that. That's a good call, C's. Sipping on some Jack Daniels Bonded. Nice pour. Piggyback was blended to be a mixer. There you go. Finished my last pour. Going to retire for the night. Well, Kyle, I appreciate you hanging out. Hopefully I'll see you here next Wednesday. If we don't, I don't know if we'll go, like I said, we probably won't go live between now and then. I don't drink a lot of Canadian whiskey. The stuff I've had, I've not really liked. It's not neat like this, but I haven't had any really high-end stuff. That's like a $3 beer in North Dakota. Oh, here at Kroger, 16-ounce Coors Banquets, $1 a piece. Yep, love them. And that's what it was last football season. It's what it's been the last 5 football seasons. I go buy like 15 or 18 of those things for a weekend sometimes because I don't drink 15 or 18 in a weekend typically, but somebody will come over and a few of them will get missing and I'll end up drinking, 8 or 12 of them in a couple of days. Eddie, what's going on, man? Just joined us. We're just talking bourbon, hanging out. What do you want to talk about? Anything and everything. Really enjoying a beer called Hobgoblin, a gold beer with citrus notes. My wife's favorite and one of my favorites for a long time was Blue Moon, but only on draft. Like, I don't really like Blue Moon in a bottle, but you get it at the perfect temperature on draft. Oh my God, is that delicious. And it just reminds me with the citrus notes and things, that's a good beer. Like if I had a kegerator, it would be full of Blue Moon on draft at all times. Further south from North Virginia, everything is cheaper. Yeah, Alabama's not a real cheap state. That's why like when you leave Alabama, there's a liquor store at every border crossing. If I go across to Georgia, it's cheaper there. If I go to Florida, it's cheaper there. So even it's $1 at Kroger, but that's like I'm assuming. I just assumed it was cheaper everywhere else. Don't know. Maybe Kroger's just keeping it artificially cheap. But they have like Coors Light, Coors Banquets. I think they had 2 or 3 16-ounce canned beers that are $1 a piece. OKI coming in the mail. I have not tried OKI. So OKI is the brand that was, all right, what OKI, like OKI is now owned by MGP, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I think that's MGP's brand. Somebody founded it, sourced stuff from MGP, and then they started a new brand. What's the new brand? Is it Starlight? What is, okay, the founders of OKI started another brand where they make their own stuff. And then OKI was sold off to MGP, I believe. So I believe it's MGP whiskey. Somebody correct me if I've got that story. I've got the general story right. I don't know if I have the details right. Banquet in a glass with some green olives floating? I've never tried that. Heard about it. Have you ever tried Sagres or Superbock? I have not. Never heard of those. Blue Moon on draft? Yes. Yes. Go to Wild Wing Cafe here, Buffalo Wild Wings. Get me some wings as a Blue Moon. Oh, my God. Watch some football. I want that so bad this weekend. I missed one. Somebody said something about a kegerator. I'd have Founders all day, Vacay wheat. That actually sounds really good. I've never tried that. How does that compare, Bubble Bass? So how does Vacay Founders wheat ale compare to like a Blue Moon? I mean, that's obviously a wheat ale, so that's going to be my reference. Guinness? Oh, Guinness is serious. I'm not a huge fan. I don't hate Guinness, but I'm not like going to it a lot. Coors is probably a loss leader for that Kroger. You're probably right. New Riff was okay. That's what New Riff was OKI. Yeah, New Riff was OKI. So the founder of OKI was sourcing whiskey, releasing it under OKI. When they started producing their own stuff, they put it out as New Riff. That's right. And I think it was sold back to MGP. So I think OKI is MGP stuff now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was they were sourcing it from somewhere, and that brand went back there. Iceland, yeah, I've had some of that. I'm not going to try to pronounce the Einstock. I've had some of that. I keep saying I'm not going to try to pronounce this stuff, and then I do. I have not tried smoked maple Knob Creek. Should I try it? Is that a good one? A Corona with lime? Hey, it is hard to beat a Corona with lime now. New Riff makes sense because of the name. Maybe that's why. It's a new riff. Lincoln, Lincoln first. Lincoln priority. If the guy, I'll know tomorrow afternoon, hopefully, if I'm going to be able to buy it. Pluckers. Don't know anything about Pluckers. Woodinville. I've had some Woodinville, but it's been a while. For those curious, Speckled Hen is an English pale ale. Knob Creek smoke. Yeah, like I said, I haven't tried the smoked maple. Superbacher beers from my country. I've never heard of these. What country again, Eddie? Carlsberg is pretty decent. What is MGP? Midwest Grain Products. They're like the largest contract distiller or source. So a lot of these bourbons will buy whiskey. When you're starting a distillery, it takes like years to get a distillery off the ground, get your own products made, get it in stores. So what a lot of people will do is source it. They'll buy their whiskey from somewhere else. Or even like a lot of these brands that are out now, they never have an intention of making their own whiskey. They just buy it from somebody, blend it, do their own thing to it, put it out under their own label. And so MGP is one of the largest, if not the largest, sources in the U.S. for whiskey that other people are using in their stuff. It is not a house brand. It was sold to somebody, was it not, Cheech? Like New Riff didn't want anything to do with it. Didn't they sell it to somebody? Like, I swear I heard this from somebody the other day. Like, did I hear wrong, or am I just misremembering? I need to figure this out. Somebody told me the other day that OKI was sold. It's distilled in Indiana, bottled in Kentucky. Maybe somebody else bought it. Maybe it wasn't MGP that bought it, but somebody else bought it and released MGP whiskey. I don't know. I'm just telling. It was started by New Riff with the intention of getting the distillery off the ground. It stands for Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. The brand eventually went defunct as New Riff phased out, replacing it with their own stock and new labels. In 2020, local entrepreneurs Jake Warren, Chad Brewzle acquired and relaunched the brand. Okay, so it wasn't MGP. I apologize. Someone else bought it and is releasing some of the same kind of blends. Okay. Got it wrong. I'm always wrong. Like, y'all just, if I say something, just assume I'm wrong. I'm never lying to you. I just don't know what I'm talking about. I knew it was something like that. I figured somebody would correct me. Cheats are going to keep me straight. I know. London Pride. Midland Grain Products? I thought it was Midwest. See, I'm telling you the wrong name. Just maple syrup. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good time. Maple syrup in my bourbon doesn't. I mean, unless I'm making an old-fashioned. Old-fashioned with maple syrup is not that bad. It's actually pretty good. Bardstown and their blends. Like, a lot of the Bardstown stuff's really good. The Discovery Series stuff's really good. Cheech, I got it right. I said Midwest Grain Products. I got it right. So I thought Cheech was correct. I was like, I'm wrong on everything today. Ross and Squibb. Nice. It's not good. BBB? What's not good, BBB? Oh, yeah. Okay. So Ross and Squibb. Hold on. Whoa. Now we. So Midwest Grain Products is owned by Ross and Squibb, or is now known as Ross and Squibb, and Ross and Squibb owns OKI. So I was right? Are we saying that I was right? Pancakes in a Bottle is North Carolina maple syrup, and NC maple in a bottle. I may have been right. I thought I was wrong. I don't know. I mean, I was reading this thing. Somebody bought it and relaunched it, but I don't know who those people are. Sam Adams cherry wheat is the same. Cherry syrup added to their beer. Like, if you got to add some sort of fruit or some sort of sweetness to the beer, really a lot of finished whiskey, I feel like you're just trying to cover up for a bad product. a beginner one drink, I would probably start with like a Buffalo Trace. I think that's like nothing, low proof, 90 proof, easy sipper, sweet on the sweet side, kind of approachable. I'd probably start with something like that. I can't believe I was right. Lord have mercy. I got one right. Wow. This has been a good day. It's been a good day. And I don't know where I heard that. I was listening to somebody's live stream, somebody's podcast, somebody's content. I have no idea where I heard that from, but yeah, Matthew, we actually filmed a video yesterday with Proper 12. Unfortunately, one of the cameras was not quite in focus, and so I had to refilm it today. So I drank Proper 12 again today. So we have a video coming out very soon. It'll be a short. We have a video coming out. ADHD Whiskey, Conor McGregor hates money. I'll have to watch that. I don't think I've seen that video. It's fine. I don't drink a lot of Irish whiskey, so I don't know how it ranks as far as Irish whiskeys go. But if I were ranking it alongside my bourbons, I put it as not wonderful. Where do you usually buy your whiskeys? I get them from all sorts of places. I get most of mine, like friends find them, or I get them in drops, or I'll just go to local liquor stores. Yeah, exactly. You did something bad, and now you gotta, how do we fix this to sell it? Well, let's put some maple syrup in it. Yeah, Rob, it's great. I love that folks come in here, and we've got a younger crowd. So the shorts, and that's probably part of it, the shorts skew younger. So if I look at my stats, like we've got a lot of folks like not even drinking age watching the shorts. So YouTube, that's not my fault. That's on you. Like let me know what I need to tag it with. But we get a lot of like 18 to 24-year-olds. So I don't know how many of those are 21 and up, but 18 to 24-year-olds and 24 to 34, and then some 44 and up. But on the long form videos where we're just doing reviews, very few of the 18 to 24. Like it really starts at that like 24, 34, and then a much more older crowd after that. So the shorts skew much younger, and so I think those folks are finding their way into this live stream, which is great. Love that we're able to help folks, and hopefully we can introduce them to good whiskey. All right, let's see. I saw a video where you said you like sweet whiskey. I haven't tried Balcones, and I don't like it. It doesn't have to be sweet for me to like it, but typically bourbon's just sweet. Like even if you put a bunch of crap in it and it's oaky and bitter, it's still kind of on the sweet side. But I haven't tried Balcones. Need to. Yeah, horses and bourbon. I appreciate it. Had to do it twice. Jameson is so much better. Yeah. Oh, what got me though is the freaking tasting notes video. I don't know if anybody's here that was watching that yesterday, but we did the tasting notes. So we did It's Bourbon Night. Did a review, a 17-minute review. Lord have mercy, I need to put out 17-minute videos. But a 17-minute review of Pappy 23. And so we did the tasting notes, and it was bad. And I redid it today, but I was smart. Like yesterday, we put the orange peels and everything in, and it was just a really thick, cakey mess. So today, I didn't put the orange peels. I just squeezed some orange juice and stuff in there. But I was physically ill from that tasting notes video today. Like it was, don't do what I do. Don't try this at home, kids. I am an expert. I'm not an expert, but Madagascar vanilla and cocoa nibs and turn their mediocre stuff. Exactly. Haven't tried Howler Head. Is Eagle Rare actually rare? That was the debate. It depends on, I'm a little older myself. But Eagle Rare, it depends on where you're at as to how rare it is. And that's kind of the joke on that. Like I was trying to just elicit some comments there. That's a repurposed video from TikTok to fill a void. We just want to try to post as many days as we can. So we had that one in TikTok before we started posting on YouTube. So Will, who posts the videos for me, dropped that one this morning. And it's not really rare. It's just kind of sought after. So they put out a lot of it, but people buy it up. A month after you turn 21, there you go. With a name like Connor's and how they're promoting it, how much is it? I want to say it's like $40 or so. Yeah, you're at least as long as you're over 21. Although we got some folks like Country Boy Kale comes in here, and he's been supporting since day one. That dude's been day one. I think he might be like 13, 14 years old. Like, I don't know. He's definitely not old enough to be drinking. Short attention spans, that is, like, the shorts definitely skew younger. See that in your analytics as well. Yeah, well, hey, if you want to get together and compare analytics sometimes, let me know. I'm looking for folks, like, channels tend to grow in packs, right? So if you're interested in, in trying to work together, I'm okay with it. Mine say not made for children, but see, if you say it's made for children, then it only shows to kids. It goes to like kids YouTube. And so if you say not made for children, it's still just like they show it to whomever. The taste comparisons, yeah, and we're having fun with a lot of those. We got a lot of fun ideas we're going to continue to try to do. I'm trying to catch up so I can look that way, but shorts get more younger, full videos get yeah, it's exactly right. Well, thank you, Jerry. Thank you. And we try to keep it like, I think the difference in our videos and what's out there right now for the most part, one, production value. Like, there's a lot of folks just doing alcohol content. There's a few with really good production, but most of them are just like slap a phone down and they just do something. And then the speed, right? The pace, the edit, we try to add a little humor, and we're just trying to keep it like, get to the point. And that's part of coming from shorts. You've got like half a second to catch somebody's attention, and then you better deliver in the first 10 seconds. So just keeping the pace up. Long gone. I got into whiskey when I was abroad and drinking age was lower. Had the opportunity to try like 5 or 6 different whiskeys. Nice. Sugary bourbons at regular 40, usually 35%. That's why you pay me to figure it out? Okay. 18 over in the UK. Hey, as long as it's legal, I don't care. Go for it. And we do have, like, the majority of our audience is in the US, but we do get quite, I think it's only like 65% or so last time I checked. Love the Eagle Rare video. Great. I'm glad you liked it. I was debating whether to post it. Like, I'm always a little iffy because that video is like close to a year old now. And I'm like, I think our stuff now is so much better. That was back when I was editing them. I was doing them all by myself, and now I'm using my work editor for some stuff, and I think they're so much better. The American drinking age, yeah, I mean, you're old enough to get drafted and go to war, but you can't drink. We don't put a lot of logic into those things. Yeah, Cheech, absolutely. Help me with Patreon, please. I don't know anything about it. Like, I am learning. I've been doing content for a long time, but I haven't been successful at it. So this whole being successful stuff, I need to figure out how to monetize shorts. I need to figure out how to, generate some revenue to pay for all this, because all this crap's coming out of my pocket right now. So I'm down, and we are pedal to the metal. Like, we're probably going to do 300,000 views today on shorts. So I've got, like, we've got shorts pretty well figured out. Any tips on something I should look at? Let's see, I turned 22 soon, only had the chance to buy 2 to 3 bottles, building a collection. What are the 2 or 3 bottles you've had, and what do you think about them? Let me know that, Matthew. On it too? Okay, y'all send me a DM or something. I don't know how you get in touch with me. YouTube doesn't have a good messaging system. I need to make sure I remember this, but hit me up, support@brewzle.com if you want to send me an email. Send me an email. And then let's, happy to get a group chat going or something where we can talk about these things. Now, it's going to be all business. I'm going to be serious about it, and I'm going to be pushing you. So if you don't want to be pushed, if you don't want, like, I'm going to push right past you if you don't want to be pushed. Like, you go as fast or as slow as you want to, but I'm aggressive about it. The lawnmower short. Yeah, that one. Well, hey, I'm glad you stuck around. The lawnmower short is one of those things where it's like, it's filtering people out. That's the good thing about a short like that. Like, if you're really serious and you don't want to have a good time and you think bourbon is like some, sacred religious thing, then you're not going to watch my stuff, and that video will get rid of you. So I'm glad it means you're cool that you're around here after watching that. Independent Joe in the house, man. What's going on, Independent Joe? I appreciate it, Rob. Thank you. That's one of the nicest things anybody's ever said. Paul, I am more than ready for some Auburn football. I don't know if we're going to get it this weekend, like we're playing like a high school team or something, but that's what we need. We need a win. Now, if we get a loss, it's going to be sad. And I may not get to watch it this weekend. We'll see. I may be in Michigan buying a Lincoln. Want to do an auction, sell it for charity on a stream. All right. North Dakota is 21 to buy tobacco products? That's kind of crazy. Rob, were you not here? You must not have been here for the Lincoln conversation. I talked to the guy. Apparently, he's got 2 other guys in line in front of me. He's supposed to let me know tomorrow afternoon. I've already got a price. We've agreed on it. I've said I would buy it. I was like, money talks, man. I'll be there Saturday. I'll pick it up. And he's like, I told these other folks they could have till Thursday. So tomorrow, he lets me know. Now, I don't know if I'll have time once I find out to get up there this weekend to buy it, because I'm going to have to rent a car and drive up there or something. I probably can't afford a flight at this point, this short of notice. But I'm trying. I have agreed to buy it, and I'm trying, and like the dude just won't let me now. Eagle is on my get list. Eagle rare. Yeah. Get one. I think you're going to. Oh, you got one, and you love it. Awesome. That's great. Started watching because of your tasting notes video. Yeah, those are, I'm a little burned on the tasting notes video. Like when we did it, I had that idea for over a year. We were going to do it for TikTok, and it's like, I don't know, like somebody's got to be doing this. This is too obvious. Somebody had to do this. We looked and looked and looked, and nobody did it. You know, I had my team look, I looked, and nobody did it. So it's like, we got to get this out. I've been sitting on it for a year now. We got to get this out before somebody else does it. I really thought I'd do 1, maybe 2, and then they would just not, you know, people would be like, that was a funny gimmick, and then just move on. But dude, they're just keep getting views. But I may have to take a little break from after today. Like the one today made me sick. It was disgusting. It's the worst one yet. It was horrible. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. In a few months, you'll reach 100K subs. Dude, I hope so. We were just shy of 1,000 subs yesterday. So we were like 900 and something subs yesterday. So we had a huge spike when one of our videos took off. And then it dipped back down. And we were still doing good when it dipped down. But now we're building, but it feels like real momentum because it's not one video, it's a bunch of them. And so I'm hoping this 900, 1,000 a day, like if we could keep releasing, I think we might be able to keep that up or maybe even go bigger than that. I don't know, but 1,000. Here's what's funny. This is what I'm trying to do. Now, y'all got to understand, don't take me too serious on anything, even subs. I know subs barely matter on YouTube, and shorts subs, people who sub for short videos are actually a lot less monetizable than people who sub and watch long form. Like you're much more successful with 100,000 people who watch long videos than you are with 1 million folks who watch shorts. Like that's just a fact. But also, I come from a place where I've got another channel we do for work, and I've been working on that 5 years, and we only got like 6,000 subs in 5 years. So it's just funny to me that at the pace we're going, the Bourbon Junkies have 93, and I consider the Bourbon Junkies like the king of bourbon YouTube, like as far as like the channel goes and the fun they have and how much I enjoy their content. And there may be others that I'm not aware of. And there's some others that do bourbon stuff, but they're more whiskey YouTubers like Whiskey Tribe and those folks. They're more whiskey than bourbon. So they've got 93,000 subs. But at the pace we're growing, even though we've only been posting for 8 weeks, we will beat them to 100,000 subs. Like we will beat them there, which is just insane. Now, they won't be as valuable subs as far as building a community, which is what we want to do, right? It's not about making money. It's about building a community. And unfortunately, it takes money to manage a community. But that's, that their community is great. We love their community. I love the folks that I've interacted with there, and we want to do or be a part of that. Like we don't have to do something separate from that. We want to be a part of that. But also, can we bring new folks in? Like, can we add to that community, add something to it, and add more people to it? But it's just crazy to me, just numbers like that we're going to beat them to 100K if we continue at this pace, because they're adding about 1,000 a month, 900 to 1,000 a month. And we're adding 900 to 1,000 a day right now, which is just mind-blowing. One less drama, Russell's. Rob, I appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate you hanging out. No, we're going to do like a full out, I'm going to do a full out video of me going and getting it. I'm going to try to run up. I already talked to Dan. If I'm there Saturday, I'm going to go up and see the Junkies and see their new place. So it's going to be fun. And we're going to try to do a whole video if we can. Have you done a blind with Old Elk Double Wheat at Weller Antique 107? I have not, but I could pick those out in a heartbeat. Like, I would know which one's 107. There's no need for me to blind that. Like, I drink so much 107. Like, it is really hard for you to give me. If you, like, you might trick me if I didn't know 107 was in it or you caught me on a day when my palate was off. But if I know 107's in a lineup, I could pick it out. Almost 100% of the time. And that's against even other Weller stuff, right? 2013 Iron Bowl, the Kick 6, man, that was fun. We had a bunch of friends over for that one. So I had like 30 people at the house for that game. We had a projector set up in the backyard. I had a bonfire, or not a bonfire, but I had a fire going. We were sitting outside watching that game with probably about 20 of the folks. And when he kicked it, I was like, oh, God. And then, you know, then we were celebrating. Like, we were yelling our heads off. We were having a good time, not even realizing he was returning it. Like, dude was already at the 40-yard line and past everybody before we even realized that he was returning it. But we went up to Tumors and rolled Tumors, and that was a fun game for sure. I'll tell you, the game before that, the Georgia game, we almost got murdered that game. We were up in Hilton Head, South Carolina, and we were at this resort. Me and a buddy, my wife, his wife, and we had gone to this wing place. We're like, we're gonna go to this wing place. We watched the game to halftime at this wing place, but it was boring. Like, nobody in there cared about football. So we left and we went back to the poolside bar, and it was cool. Nobody was at the pool. We were at the poolside bar watching the Auburn game. But what we didn't realize is inside this, they were having a Georgia Southern sorority formal. And half of these Georgia Southern girls were dating Georgia frat boys. Like, they come out in a tuxedo and an old dirty Georgia hat. Like, that's what they're wearing to this formal, a tuxedo and a red dirty Georgia hat. And so they walk out, and you would see, like, and we're beating them all bad in the first half. And they come out and check score every once in a while, you know, through the third quarter, and then Georgia makes the comeback and takes the lead. And so they're coming out, and next thing you know, there's like 30 of them out there watching the game. And me and my friend, we're just sitting over there being quiet, and, you know, we start talking a little trash, and Nick Marshall throws the pass where the guy bats it in the air, and he catches it and runs it to the end zone. And, of course, we're running around the pool. I'm a big dude. The other guy's a big dude. It looked like Dirty Dancing. I'm running at him, and we're doing the lift. Like, we're having a good time. We go into the bat, and, of course, they start talking a bunch of trash. And the game ends. We go into the restroom. A bunch of them are in the restroom, and they're talking trash. My buddy looks at one of them, and that dude's like, it's luck. Y'all just lucky. My buddy looks at him, and he says, I can't help it that God hates Georgia. And Lord have mercy, I didn't think we were going to survive that night. Luckily, we had the right to be there, and they did not. So security kind of ushered them out of the way before they were able to murder us. So that was a good time, though. That's, you know, one of the few times I've come close to getting my ass beat. Tasting notes video. I mean, we tried, and we've done some videos where we brought in folks for tasting, and they haven't done as well. And it's probably because we just didn't produce as good of a video. Just shy of 16,000, which is crazy. We just passed 15,000 today, I think. Well, thank you, Cheech. I appreciate it. Cheech is a pro. Cheech is a pro for sure. Sub, Horses says. Bourbon Junkies 93.9, but at $1,000 a month, you know, we're gonna get them. We're gonna get them. We're gonna get them. I hope we get them. Like, I'm not gonna say we're not gonna be a bigger channel with even more subs, but it's just fun. Like, it's just games. They're just numbers. 600 or 600,000. You're in negotiations. Yeah, I'm an Auburn grad, so I basically live in Auburn. Easily the best game. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. Dirty Dancing was directed by your cousin. That was a fantastic movie. I watched that one a lot as a youngster. That was one of those. We didn't have cable, so we had part part of the time we had a VCR. Lots of times when I was a teenager, our VCR had broke. And so we had to literally go rent a movie and rent the VCR. But when I was younger, we had a VCR and we had like 5 or 6 movies, and that was one of them. So it was like that and Robin Hood with Kevin Costner. It was Tombstone. So I've seen Tombstone like 875 times. We just, when there's nothing on, we had like 3 channels on TV. So we'd just pop one of those movies in and watch it over and over. We did not find a Grand National. We're going to pass on the Grand National. We're trying to buy a Lincoln. We're trying to buy the Lincoln. I've made an offer. I find out tomorrow if he's going to accept the offer and let me come buy the Lincoln. But we have not bought the Grand National. That's going to be a future thing. I'm probably going to have to sell a car or two. That may be a year or two from now. That's a little beyond my current budget. A little beyond my current budget. So, all good. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call it a day. I can't believe we still got 39 folks watching this late in the live stream. That is awesome. Y'all have been freaking awesome. This has been a fun night. We'll continue to try to build on this as we have time and make these more fun. I'm still working on the sponsorship deal and getting papers signed there so we can give away gift cards for bottles and actually give away some bottles and stuff on these streams. So it's going to be fun. Friday's going to be Nickelodeon and Blockbuster. Yeah, we didn't even have that. I lived in the country, 200 people. We'd have to go to a grocery store, and they'd have a few movies there, and we'd have to rent the movie, and then we'd have to rent like the briefcase VCR. That's what we had to do. Spent a lot of time in Tuscaloosa. Yeah, that's, it's a fine town. Nothing wrong with Tuscaloosa. I don't like it as much as Auburn, though. But appreciate everybody hanging out. We'll catch up with all y'all later. Definitely see y'all next Wednesday unless something happens. So if I have to go to Michigan next week to get the Lincoln, then I won't stream. Otherwise, I will be here on Wednesday. I appreciate everybody hanging out. See y'all later.